Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning, coming off a bit of a muted session on Tuesday. We had the S&P and Dow both ending lower yesterday, snapping a 6-session winning streak, while the NASDAQ, led by Netflix and Microsoft as well yesterday, finishing ever so slightly higher, extending that winning streak. In fact, investors still monitoring the COVID-19 stimulus developments coming out of Washington. We did get a little bit more details about the proposed bill from the Democrats, with $1,400 direct payments included in this latest version of this stimulus bill. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll get January consumer price index numbers coming out here any moment now, expecting a 0.3% increase on that front. Whole bunch of earnings to get through this morning. We had Coke, GM, and Under Armour out this morning. We'll talk about all three. Of course, Twitter, Cisco, and Lyft, the big three, out after market yesterday. Going to be an exciting one. It's Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Here we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see both Chinese markets leading the way to the upside there. Nice numbers, in fact, 2.5% in positive territory. Let's go over to Europe and have a look at how things are shaping up. Pretty muted right across the board here. You can see both Germany, France, and even Spain to the downside. Everything else relatively unchanged. Here's North America. S&P 500, 0.3%. The Dow, 0.3%. Hey, guess what? The NASDAQ about 0.3%. TSX even. Yeah, 0.3%. Brazil's open, little change so far. We have Bitcoin down for the first day this week, 3%. Both crude oil and gold in positive territory. Good morning, guys. Busy morning already. Lots of earnings, to say the least, to get through. What a move in GM there. Initial move to the upside. They're talking about some chip supply issues, going to cause maybe production problems going forward.
Yeah, welcome to Hump Day, of course. 0.3%. I mean, like, everything's 0.3%. That's kind of crazy. But we've been talking about the supply issues for chips at least for the last week and a half. So there's not really too much of a surprise here. I do want to state, and we're going to get this one fixed for you guys, but looks like the position board might be wrong. And I know it is, because I am short in this CGIX. It's at the bottom. It's in the middle of our watch list, I should say. So I actually have a 15.15 short in the money $1, and I've been trading this one actively in the pre-market. So we will get that one fixed for you. We'll update you guys on all of our positions. You know what we do around here. It's going to be live trading, so we want to make sure you guys can see what it is that we're in, what it is where we're covering, all that type of good stuff. But it is a wealth of earnings, as Brendan mentioned, that we have to go through today. So the watch list is certainly a big one. And wow, the cannabis name's still running to the upside as well. And yeah, I mean, Sean, with a long break on UAA. So we'll let you guys know all the positions. Sean, I'll let you fill them in on that one.
Yes, good morning, traders, and I hope you're having a good one today, and there's been lots of action. If you are into cannabis names, you'll like some of the stuff that's happening today with SNDL, Tilray going nuts today, Afria, CGC, everything just going to the high side, so it's going to be a great one. I got to go get my water. But yeah, UAA is the first position I'm in here today, breaking out. There's a little bit of a short interest on it. UAA, like, look at Under Armour. This is I didn't even realize it was kind of on this run, like $10 to 22, like from October. Absolutely insane. But up another 8%, and then here we go. We do take kind of a breakout here. It's just breaking through quarters. We're long at 22.30. I just had enough. I tweeted out the sticky note today. You guys can find that. I know there's a lot of followers that look at that, but 22.30. I like Under Armour today. Let's see what it does. Hopefully to the high side. It was 30 cents in the money, but we're not going to take that this early. Under Armour, the first trade for me. Oh, there it is.
It's working now. There we go.
Oh, it's working now. Okay, so it's on the board there, so you can see it. We're in the money now at 22.30 to rise the upside. Love me some Twitter today, too. Brendan, this is going to be a busy one, man.
Definitely going to be a busy one. Lots of earnings. We have cannabis stocks moving as well. Going to update GME. Short interest, guys. Just saw this coming across. Before we do that, though, let's bring in Valeria and say good morning to her, working remotely again today. What is it? 2 more days, I guess, before you can get back in here next week.
On Sunday, Brandon, I am free. Hi, guys. I wish you a great trading day. Please share the link with friends, subscribe to our channel, and destroy the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed, guys. If we can jump into my screen here, I'll update this GameStop short interest for those wondering, guys. This just coming out right now, 8:32 here. Now 39% of the free float. That's down from 46 at the end of January. So a little bit more reason why this trade continues to come back to the downside. We did see a lot of these names kind of gapping up a little bit this morning, but they are fading off once again. To be expected. Where do we want to go here, guys? If we want to maybe start with the AMCs, the GMEs of the world, as I mentioned, a bit of a gap up, but it seems to be fading off here. And then we'll jump into some of these earnings.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this trade sort of fading away at least a little bit. Now, there was this move in the pre-market here on GameStop in particular off of 48. And we did break that 50 low. You guys saw there were breakdown trades at several good prices, whether we're talking the 55, whether it was at 52, the 50 even break, all three we were looking at live in the show and had. You get this 46.50 bottom. It was trying to put in a higher low. And then you got this little ramp up, but I'm eyeballing that 50 once again, even this 50-50 as double bottom. These are pure momentum plays, but the sort of squeeze aspect of each of these pushes to the upside lessens and lessens each time that you see that interest go down. So it's not to say that that isn't a part of the game, and it would still look to be in positions for a short period of time, particularly in this stock, but some of the momentum goes out of it. And I think once that happens, you can start to trade them a little bit more separately as opposed to you get a wild move in a GameStop and you're watching to see what happens over an AMC or Bed Bath & Beyond or BlackBerry. That's going to slow down a little bit. Trading them a little bit more independently could be the way to go. But I'll be looking for those bottom breaks for the little in and out scalp trades like we were doing the last couple of sessions. I mean, 50 and 50-50 immediately stick out as I look at the levels here.
Okay, so he'll look at, Neil just looked about GameStop there. I'll look at AMC. So, look, I mean, we can draw trend lines. We can do whatever we want here. It's quite obvious. This is a 20-minute chart. I'm just calling it up. And you could see, you could draw a line. Basically, I mean, we could do it from here all the way down here. So it's basically following, or you can just use this VWAP right here. And then you can see, I'm looking at this little level right here, the 625. We had some problems with it back 3 days ago here on the 8th. It's this level right here, 625. It came down, bounced, it stopped and dropped, and then now we haven't been back. So I'd like to see AMC, come back and revisit this level. I mean, I guess it's 620, 625. I'll zoom in a little bit more here, and we'll figure out what exactly that level is. But here it is right here. Basically, 620. Let's go with 620. So I think that this 620 level can definitely be looked at here on AMC. We're starting to break above VWAP. It's the first time in a couple days that that's actually even happened. As you guys can see, just straight down, not even close. And then today, now we revisit a little bit higher. So I don't know. We can find out, Brendan, about the short interest on AMC. I think it's around the same now as GameStop, in the 30-40% range, depending if people drop some of that off. And I don't think the short squeeze is a play anymore. I just wonder if it's a little bit too beat down. I mean, the fair value of AMC is probably, I keep saying this, I have those $2 calls. I think it's right around here. I think $6, $6, $7 is probably about right. All this nonsense started at $2, and we've seen some other reopen plays going crazy as well. So I'm not sure where the fair value is, but I do think 5, 6 is probably pretty cool. So we'll see if it does hit that 620 today. That's going to be a loaded up level for me. If we get there, I'm going to take that break.
I am seeing 11% now for AMC. So just so everyone is aware of where we're at on the short interest. Can we show my screen here, guys? And just wanted to update the CPI number. It was kind of in line with expectations, but future is kind of breaking higher here as we speak. So month over month CPI for January in the U.S. 0.3% versus 0.3%. Year over year, though, down slightly, 1.4 versus 1.5. But as we said, a little bit of a pop there in the futures as we got that data coming in. Let's talk about some of these Chinese stocks here real quick before we bring in Mark Roberts and have a discussion with him on what is moving around here in the pre-market. Jack Ma spotted playing golf. I mean, as I said, there's strength right across the board as far as Chinese names are concerned, but bit of a funny headline here this morning, guys. Jack Ma golfing after no one seeing him for a while.
Billionaire plays golf. I mean, in what world is that going to be a headline? Well, he was found a while ago, so I'm not sure how big of a deal that is. I mean, if you look at Alibaba, it's still in this. it's still in this bit of a slumber, which is, I think, probably a good thing for the stock. Not a lot of this is resolved in terms of how this is all going to play out. I mean, Ant sort of restructuring, and then seeing if that's going to solve those issues there. And of course, that's going to be an important step. And we've been sort of talking about this 250 to 275 price range and needing a breakout. So the longer we hold here, the more it coils up, the more I'm going to like that break. From a fundamental standpoint, we'll just go back to the whole fact that between them and Amazon, and just on a pure value play, it's not even particularly close. But you do have those concerns, so I think you can always be patient if you didn't already get that dip when he went missing, and we're talking about that 220, 225 area. Although buying it that day in a day trade stunk. I mean, certainly if you're long there, you have plenty of cover, and you're just waiting for that 225 to break out, and then we're probably going to that 300. But the slumber continues. There's another name on our watch list, which I think will be a heck of a lot more interesting today. That's going to be Baidu, and I think we'll be looking at that one after missing out on some just great trading opportunities on Baidu yesterday. I'd rather not do that today as well.
I mean, yeah, we're quite in the money with BABA right now. We started buying that at 220. 222.83, I think, was one of our best buys, and then we went in again at 230. We talked about that on the show, and I was loving Alibaba. I gave Randy hell yesterday because I love the 220 break before Jack Ma went missing, and then now we get the opportunity to do that again. Yeah, I was going to talk about Baidu. I mean, it looks like they're going to be buying or getting into the AI game even more by probably buying some kind of a private AI company. So not much happening. We can watch C3 AI today just because we know that that's a name that's been pretty hot recently. But yeah, I picked the wrong name. I mean, let's call it like it is. I mean, I've been talking about Alibaba for a long time, like even like I was saying pre-Christmas down here for Alibaba, but I should have been talking about Baidu because that's been a double plus. I mean, as soon as we broke out through this 150 area, man, we just took off. Then you had some consolidation down here, 240, 250. Now you're at 310, 320. It's pulled off that 318 level and is now coming back down. Surprising because of the futures, but again, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Baidu. I am much more comfortable trading Alibaba. I like Alibaba. I mean, another name that we've missed out on, I mean, not missed out on it, but it's just, you know, there's so many Chinese names, guys, and of course, it doesn't look like my daily chart's gonna load, but even Pinduoduo, you wanna talk about October, like when I was looking at BABA, I mean, all we had to do was look at Pinduoduo, man. That's $75, $80, a break of 100, and see you later. That's a double, man, Pinduoduo from November. So, Brendan, you're dead on with some of these Chinese names and looking at them because are they movers or what? You know, find a name that you like, get in there. There's JMIA. There's a bunch of different names that can still wake up. We talked about NEO as well, but today I have a feeling it's going to be all about... Take it away, Brendo.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. The other catalyst we mentioned yesterday about Baidu, guys, is they came up with that date of this year, by the end of this year, for their electric vehicles. So Baidu also getting into the EV space. Back to my screen here. We'll talk about Tilray. I missed this. We were talking about this GME headline here, but if you look up here, Tilray on here as well. Short interest rises to 36.6% of the free float. So Tilray, guys, highly shorted also.
Have they learned their lesson yet?
I mean, that's why we were throwing this around. I mean, look, I think you can probably look it up. I don't know what CGC's is. I don't know what Afria's shortable interest is as well, but I'm sure they're probably...
CGC's higher, I thought. It was yesterday.
It was yesterday higher. It was 36 and change. So GameStop, sorry, not GameStop, Tilray just getting there now. But I mean, come on, like we were talking about weed stocks down here, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, and I don't have Tilray. I don't own Tilray. I own my largest by far. I just looked today and I have way more shares than I thought. Thank God, is Afria. And so that one's been going crazy as well. But look, Afria and Tilray they do have that merger set up. Their charts do look very, very similar. Actually, you know, we should find I'll find the short interest out. I know Brandon's a busy guy. But Afria as well, because the charts are identical. I mean, it's $4 or $5 straight to 30. I guess Tilray's is straight to 50. So, I mean, a little bit more of an explosion there on Tilray. But look at Afria today, guys. You come in, you're up another 23.58%. GW Pharma got a deal done with Tilray the other day. And now it's just momentum, guys, going to the high side. These companies have already reported. CGC reported yesterday. I think Tilray reported, I think it was last week or maybe when they announced that GW deal. So we're going to find out more about that. But wow, $30.50 here for Afria is just nuts. If you remember yesterday, so first of all, I was long CGC yesterday. It was a huge trade. And I talked to Brendan yesterday, or this morning actually. So I was long yesterday right here, 35.50 on Tilray, guys. It ripped to 45. Today, obviously, we don't need to tell you, it's going to be at 55 pretty soon. So that's $20 in one day, Neil. We were long 35.50. I mean, it is what it is. It was a day trade. I think I took $1 on it. So now when I see a $20 win, it's a little bit of smoke show there on that trade, but whatever.
That's what happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Look, I was happy to take $1. Yeah. We will see today, though. I think these names do not have to be ignored. And I see a lot of love, obviously, for SNDL because it's 80 million. I'll leave that with you, Neil, and OGI as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tilray, the only thing to point out for the stock is just how many times it's rubbed up on this phrasing. How many times it's got to this 54 and turned around in the pre-market. So that's going to stand out like a sore thumb. Speaking of big levels, look, it can't get past sundial. I did long a couple of times yesterday. I hate to say, but it's the same thing as Sean. It's just you took some breakouts here, and because it's a dollar stock, you take those like 5-cent wins. You're happy. You size up on them. Absolutely love those. $1.50 was a great level with like 4 million shares on it for a quick little retracement short. And then after that, it was just a scalp long the rest of the day. That's all you could really do. We've already broken $2 on sundial, so. I mean, ideally, when I sat down, the first thing I thought of was, you get this 7 o'clock pop through $2, and then it immediately comes back in, and then every part of me is like, let this stock come back down to a 190 and give you that play, sort of retaking the pre-market high at the open, because that would have got, I think, some day trade shorts, maybe trying to roll over. Like that's usually what I would do. So. That hasn't happened. I don't really think there were anyone maybe new this morning that would be already amassing a short position. I can't think of a good reason why you'd be doing so on sundial. So not really a heck of a lot in terms of levels to go by here, but it is going to be probably defending like a 195, I think, the first look, if it tries to do a bit of a dip. And from there, just play the evens, play the quarters. And whenever there's ridiculously gigantic size, and on this particular stock, I'm going to show you guys a level 2. None of this qualifies. 600,000 shares doesn't qualify. It's got to be like yesterday, 3, 4, 5 million on an offer for me to stand in front of it. And if I do see that, believe me, and especially at like 250, if I stay, I'll do the same thing I did at 150, even if you only make like 4 or 5 cents. There's an unlimited amount of shares for you to be able to take if you have direct market access and access to all these different gateways.
All right, we mentioned a couple of instances where companies are now talking about chip shortages, so semiconductor shortages. GM, the latest one coming out this morning during their report, saying that, in fact, a lack of semiconductors is going to actually reduce their production for the full year 2021. We'll talk about GM coming up here, but I wanted to just take a second, guys, to discuss the fact that some of these semiconductors have been relatively strong over the past little while. If we have a look at Intel here, I just brought up Intel. On a daily chart specifically, you can see 52, 52.5 kind of thing at the bottom. We're back to 60 here. I mean, we can look at AMD, we can look at NVIDIA. A lot of these are looking very strong, and the entire group back to the upside in the pre-market here. Well, I mean, it's that old story. I mean, is it really a bad thing when you have too much demand? And we talk about sometimes the stocks that get ignored here. I'm trying to pull up Micron for you guys. Just because, look, we'll always be looking. We talked about NVIDIA yesterday, and we'll always be going over AMD, certainly, as a leader, and you just mentioned Intel, but it's all a very similar story, and I only point out Micron for how clean this looks on the daily chart. When these concerns started to come in, people started talking a little bit more in January, we dipped down, made this bottom at 75, right off that 50 period that you see this trend has been all the way to the upside, and now pressing towards fresh highs. Not there yet, 87.25 in particular for a Micron. It's essentially flat today, but there's no ignoring this momentum. If there's any kind of a dip back into that 50 period, I call it like 77 or 78 in like Micron, and you can look at any of these names. The charts are very, very similar. They're going to be worth picking up. Yesterday, of course, NVIDIA had its own catalyst, and I think that was part of its story for some strength and something that we went over in yesterday's action. Before we go to upgrades and downgrades, Brendan, I just want to update this CGIX just so you guys know. If it breaks, I don't think I said this. I have the short at 15.15. If it breaks this 15.50, this was sort of the chop range before this flushed at 14.80 here. If it breaks that 15.50, I'm out of it. I love the fact that it's consolidating now right off of this like 13.30 area.
it's gone from like $1 to $1.50 in the money over and over again, but I've already scalped a bunch out of this trade both times that I had it short. So if we break this, I'm looking for it to test that low at $12.50, guys. So if it holds, I can still make $2 to $2.50 on that trade. If it breaks, this puppy could go all the way to $10. This is a $5.80 stock yesterday, and that's after it did this. So it already made a big move to the upside in yesterday's action. It has a lot of room, I think, to pull back, even if it only fills in a portion of this gap.
All right, let's talk about some upgrades and downgrades, guys. Nothing terribly exciting on here, but I want to focus on this side today, on the downgrade side. We do have Canopy Growth on here. Yes, analysts decrease or price target decrease. Not really going to affect it when there's a entire group moving the way we're seeing the cannabis names today. But space on here in that glue, guys. We were talking about glue yesterday, but Virgin Galactic with a downgrade today.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things right now. UAA, we're about to take out a piece right now. As we already got a great start here on UAA, I just tweeted that out as well. Up to 90s right now off this 22.30 break. So let's just see how high this continues to go. So that's a good trade. I may take a piece out now. I'm waiting in the 90s, but really, what is 5 cents or 10 cents at this point when you already have this kind of a winner? And then we just punched in. I punched into 11s there on a break of SNDL. It breaks through that 210 level, so now we can hold it. I'm probably just going to give this back. I mean, 198 was the bottom there. We may have to give it a little bit more room than that, just because there's going to be market on open orders. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening here. But SNDL right now, a decent position long through 211, and it may be too high here. That may have been a good short opportunity. We are going to find out soon, though, if we're right or wrong on that one.
I wouldn't short it up there.
And yeah, exactly. But right now, UAA continues. I think we'll take another piece off. I am waiting in the 90s. Let's get one piece off right now.
Let's continue along. If you haven't done so already, make sure you take out the watch list, guys. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30, talking about all the names that are moving around. In the pre-market, we'll kick things off with Twitter. Wow, very, very strong here in the pre-market. Blowout report for Twitter right across the board. I was kind of focusing on that ad revenue number, 1.29 billion, 28% year-over-year increase versus 1.15 billion that was expected for from analysts. So a big move here for Twitter, guys.
I mean, monstrous. You look at this volatility, and there's a few things that stick out here. I mean, the ad revenue was huge, which that's the name of the game. I guess that Trump effect too. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, so Trump off Twitter, post-election, and all that kind of stuff would be a negative tailwind, and that hasn't been true. So, I mean, it's basically off to the races. The interesting thing about this is you kind of look on the daily chart for patterns or reasons maybe to be patient sometimes, and you see me do that a lot. But when you see this many up days in a row, and then you have earnings like this, it's like, well, if there aren't any dips, and God, one has to come in soon, you would think. How do you get into this one? So it's got to be a day trade for me at this point, even though they're priced pretty well when it comes, at least relatively to Snapchat, they're priced really well. So it's definitely an interesting name. I'm watching this 63.5. That's just above this like pre-market breakout level, just because that many days in a row, you get the earnings. I'd just be shocked if there wasn't selling off the open today to maybe come back downside here. So if it holds above the 7 o'clock breakout price, then I would like a dip buy in Twitter. That's going to be my first look for this name. It's just one of the unbelievable flyers. Just so many days in a row. It's just shocked that there wouldn't be at least some kind of a pullback in this name.
Look, man, Twitter was a pretty easy call there for lots of reasons, and we talked about that on the show a little bit. I've gotten a few people into that name as well, and it was just right here. I mean, it's just easy to me. Anyways, you have some consolidation down here, and then you break through that 50-period moving average, and this is when I started recommending Twitter. I did dump some around here on this bad earnings. I think it was literally right here, around 48, 49. I remember that day clearly. I actually got out in the aftermarket when that report came because of the same reasons. It was climbing, and it was just an unbelievable run, 27 to 51, and then they came out with earnings, and they crashed that day. And I remember getting out there, and then now today it's going to be almost the exact opposite kind of a move there, where they come out and, like, what was it, 31% up on their ad revenues year over year? Like, what? That's pretty big, guys, considering that, yeah, they did lose. I mean, look, the Trump numbers are still here because they just banned Trump, right? And so that happened in what, January, I guess, or just after the election, or I guess it was maybe that riots. I don't know exactly the date, but the point is they're through that. And they're still getting big ad revenues. I know we use Twitter a lot, obviously, on the show here. So it's just an easy, cheap form of advertising. Obviously, you can pay for it, but Twitter's a huge following in our community. You guys know that. So, yeah. I think it's just a blowout here. I wrote down, I mean, we've already tweeted out the sticky note today, so you can follow that on Twitter or my Instagram. But the thing is I was thinking to watch to see if it was going to hold this 62, but since then, it's just taken off. I mean, I wrote that list pretty early, so now we're taking off. I didn't think we'd be up 10%, but now that we are, man, watch out for the 65.40 level just blowing up.
Sean, just for a second here, 54 already broke on Tilray, so I mean, this is a little early. It's not even 9 o'clock yet.
I don't even know.
By proxy, I was waiting for a deeper dip in Sundial, and I even said I was waiting for a dip buy, but I can't watch this break the top and make a run. It's just all the way to 57 here. I was able to get some midpoints there on Sundial, so I was going to wait for it to come down to 195 or 2, but playing in front of 205 when we see Tilray moving to the upside just feels like a good play as well. So that definitely was going to be a break. It was the only number I had written down for Tilray, but wasn't ready for that one at 850 essentially.
Also on the Twitter front, guys, the only kind of cautionary note that was attached to that report was talking about the pandemic effect. So the increase in demand of people searching for information on the pandemic, they felt had kind of topped out and was maybe dwindling off a bit, but traffic's still great through the entire quarter because of that as well. But that was the only kind of cautionary tale they did mention. Let's go on to Cisco here. Another earnings beat, but again, it was the forecast that was a little bit cautionary from Cisco that is sending this thing lower today. But across the board, I mean, revenue fell slightly, 11.96 billion from 12.01 billion the year prior, but that was still versus expectations of 11.92 billion. So still a beat, but they were wondering about full year 21.
Look, I mean, their stock has been very, very quiet for a very, very long time, and they finally break out. And I mean, this was, again, you know, it doesn't look like Twitter because we know Cisco doesn't have that kind of explosive potential in the stock anyways. So, yeah, this breakout right there was a great one, and that should have signaled, guys, like this move, and it did. It breaks it out. We go up from 46 to, I mean, that wick is not accurate. So, I mean, it's accurate, but it's an earnings wick there yesterday afternoon. 49.50 there up. Let's just call it $50. So you get about a 10% break. But guess what? When you break these levels and then you disappoint, you now have the ability to trade back into here, and that's going to be a problem for shareholders. I just think if people are like-minded and they look at very similar things that I do here, I don't know if we come to this 50 period, but look what happened when we broke it. It just rocketed right up. Look what happened when we broke it to the downside. It tanked, right? And so right now we're going to be coming up to that level again, and it's 45 even, which is why, again, on the sticky note, you can follow it. I'll show it up here on Twitter just because I think it's going to be easier for you guys to look at it here. We did have it written here, and I said weak earnings looking at that 45.50 level. So I'll put this tweet back up on our chat here. You guys can go have a look. But that 45.50 level, I like it as a short. And yeah, it already held it a little bit down here. That's 46 even. So let's watch out for 45.50 break here on Cisco, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the only levels I have written down are going to be those same ones, but a bit of a fake out there. I just want to show you guys Sundial if I can for a quick little second. That just made a move up right into that previous high, and I'll have to zoom in so you guys can see because it only moves a few pennies at a time. I grabbed that 7.5. I grabbed some 9s, was getting out 10s and 11s, and then it sort of snaps back. And remember, I like the idea of the dip buy. Yeah, here comes a more prominent one. So remember, we talked about this at like 195 or so, playing off of that level. Might get that chance. Now, Tilray just turned around off of 58. But it's still holding at 57, so that's looking rather strong still. I like the dip once. I'll definitely like it again here. I'm going to play some more Sundial.
All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. Let's bring in Arun and have a look at the overall market. We'll check out the futures here. As we mentioned off that CPI number, it seems a bit of a pop to the upside here, kind of reversing an otherwise, choppy kind of weak start to the day here. Arun, what are you looking at?
It's been a slow, it's been a slow week, as you said. Yesterday was pretty much a whole lot of nothing. If you got the right prices, you were flat by the end of the day. Same thing on Monday, and here we are again. This time we're creeping up ever so slightly. Even that CPI kind of just got us going. Now, can we carry forward? It'll depend, because I have no volumes. I have no levels nearby. Closest level I've got is 38.75. So there's a whole lot of space. So in this type of situation, what I like to do is I just like to let the market discover brand new levels. So I'll be sitting back and waiting for more development on the trade and see how much volume comes through, how the levels react as we keep going further higher, hopefully. If we come back down, if we get underneath 15, then you know what? I think I can start declaring whatever the top is. Whenever we get under 15, then I think maybe we can start declaring that as a top potentially, and then wait for it to hesitate one more time, and then you may have a chance at a short. But until that happens, there's a whole lot of nothing to do except wait. These are the hardest kind of days for traders that are just kind of waiting for the right trades, because you're waiting all day and sometimes it may not happen, but hey, that's part of the game, and that's what I'll be doing today. I do want to mention one thing though. Yesterday in the chats, there's some people talking about shirts, about wanting to send me a brand new shirt. Yeah, you know what? I'm absolutely open to it. So if you guys want to send shirts, this is my money shirt, but I do want to see what the viewers have. So if you guys want to send shirts in, and I'll wear them on screen as long as they're appropriate, I will wear them on screen. And I want to see what the creativity of the viewer base is. So Valeria will hit you guys up with the address, and we'll see how that goes.
Great stuff. We will keep you updated on Arun shirts. Let's jump back into what's moving around here, guys, in the pre-market. Thanks, Arun. We'll talk about Lyft here next. The other mover aftermarket yesterday, guys. Nice active daily user number, which was key for them, was down, but 12.5 million. That was down in the quarter, but expected to be with the pandemic. Still a little bit better than expected for Lyft.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm going to be looking at Uber more today, and again, that's what I've tweeted out, and we've talked about that a little bit. LYFT, Sean. The Y beside the T, of course, in the keyboard there. Look, this is an amazing reopen play. We've talked about that over and over again. I like Uber just because, honestly, I just think Uber Eats is a big asset as well. I know they're not making money, but they're just a little more diversified than Lyft, and they're also in more countries worldwide, obviously, than Lyft. And if you're watching this in Europe, I don't even think they have Lyft in Europe. So, and if they do, it's my mistake, and let me know about that in the chat. But okay, $60 a level, to say the least. It bounced off $60 a couple times and bounced off 59. So we're in that $1 range right now on Lyft. I'll talk about Uber after, like maybe when we go, because right now we're talking about Lyft. But this is the breakout here, and again, some nice consolidations right here. You could play that breakout of 51. If you did that, congratulations. You get some nice earnings up to 59 here. I think this is going to be close to all-time highs when this chart loads back up. I'm not exactly sure where it IPO'd, but that's a nice little, here we go. Yeah, we're a little bit higher there. 60, 67. Okay, so right now we're not near that all-time high, so that means there is a lot of room to run still on Lyft. I do prefer Uber to Lyft, and we will talk about that with Uber earnings coming up soon as well.
Yeah, and look, I'm looking at Lyft almost right here, right now, and it's usually not the best in terms of the day trade because of liquidity. So you watch out for those breakouts being a little bit tricky, but you get this kind of a gap. Consolidation, if it cannot hold this, these current levels, sorry, we've got to go this way here to make sure we can get that 1 minute for you guys. If it cannot hold this bottom, that's 58.80, I do think there's a chance at a breakdown. I don't want this one at 930. This is an opening range type of trade. I'm also looking at this 59.50. Now, this is a break that if this was a more liquid stock, I'd consider having at 9 o'clock, but I am 0 for 2, and this goes over the course of last year, if I take a Lyft trade pre-market. So I'm just not going to be doing it. If it breaks a pre-market low and it holds below that range, I think there's a shorting opportunity off the open just on a pullback here. I feel much better about Uber, as Sean also mentioned as well there in the 59.50. Let's have a look at that. It has to break that for there to be strength in the name, at least for me. I know it's up that 10%. I want to come back to Sundial because I got to show you guys this level 2. And I talked about only significant size mattering, but I've basically seen, and this happened at it happened at 5, 6, 7, and now again at 8. Every time these levels get taken out, I'm telling you, another couple 100,000 gets thrown on each of these gateways. Someone's been dumping this in 5, 6, 7 as it bounced back to the upside. So I guess the dip buy into $2, a lot of people were thinking about it, and some profit taking. I just started taking some out there at 8 myself. So as this climbs, you can see these, if you can see this well here, these yellow lines are all orders I have in case this drifts to the upside. So I'm still doing the dip buy on Sundial, but it is worth noting there's a lot of shares being sold on the way up. So it's running into some resistance near this top.
Just checking on the SPAC of the day, it would appear Atlas Crest, ACIC here in New York. I just saw this one up big time, 35, 36%. $15, bit of a level it looks like on this ACIC. We can talk about the actual story here. So ACIC, they're taking a vertical airplane maker, it looks like, public through a merger. So I'll keep an eye on that. But heads up if you're looking at that ACIC airplane maker on a merger on that SPAC. Let's go to the cannabis group. We mentioned it briefly earlier, guys. Is there one or two here that stand out kind of as an opportunity today? I mean, the entire group up so much.
I mean, I'm already heavy invested into SNDL, but okay, so yeah, I just bought some more 03s there on that dip. Okay, so look, we just talked about Tilray a couple times. I'm always going to go back to the well with CGC. We crushed it yesterday. We also crushed Tilray yesterday as well. So who knows where we're going to be today. But yeah, I mean, some of these moves are just iconic. I mean, CGC, not nearly as beautiful as Tilray. Like, we're only at a double from November when Tilray and Afria are 4 or 5x, more than 10x from Tilray there. So yeah, this is why I like it a little bit more. If you are going to be one of those, I don't want to call it YOLO trading or anything like that, but if you're going to notice, CGC will trade a little more relaxed than Tilray, and that's what I like for myself personally. So we're going to look at taking out some 53.25s here. 52's been holding on CGC. I actually didn't write anything down. I was more interested in this SNDL, which is why we're in on that. But CGC still with, I believe it was 30+% short. So just like you updated the Tilray shortable interest as well. And this is what I mean, like, just comparing the two, right? Like, Tilray already made a bottom of 51 and a high of 58. So it's already traveled that 7-8% here just in a couple minutes, actually. Once we broke that 54, Neil talked about that, right up to 58 there, now coming back in a little bit. So we're just going to watch them. You know what? I don't know what to do. There's going to be a pullback in this name probably today for sure, as it's up too much. It was already up 30+% yesterday, if not more than that. So maybe it was 40%. Now we're just going to have to play it back to 52. I mean, honestly, we will play a break of 58 because the short squeeze is going to be in. I want to wait for the imbalance locator to come out here on NASDAQ to find out. That's 928. But yeah, I like a 58 break, or let's start buying this thing back to 52. But Tilray and Afria, the wild ones, I am more interested though in SNDL right now, as I'm pretty loaded up long at 208.
Yeah, and speaking on that note, I mean, I'm looking at this 56 bottom, and the only reason I'm calling this pullback and even remotely interested in 56 is because if that breaks, I'm going to probably get a chance to dip buy more into Sundial. So I'm watching these together. I think Tilray sort of leading the way, and maybe call it squeeze, call it whatever you want. I think if it does a sharp pullback, holding into the 50 level was the first thing that I had written down when I sat down here this morning. So I would leave that one out in the open, even though that would be a significant pullback. Let's just try to remember where it's come from. Coming back 10%. It may seem crazy on some stocks. It doesn't seem like that to me on this particular name. So if it gets out of hand to the downside, just watch out for some of those breaks. If we take the top at 58 and I miss the top break, I will definitely look to make the play over in Sundial, especially if you can catch that still below like a 215 area in the event that happens. So I like having a secondary play that I can go to because there's so much liquidity on Sundial that you really don't have to worry about it. You're going to be able to get into the trade wherever you want on Sundial, whereas Tilray, I mean, I'm seeing 15, 20-cent spreads, sometimes even bigger than that. So you can easily miss a 58 break here, Sean, if we're not aggressive enough.
All right, guys, the next one here, Coke, one of those stocks we typically only look at around earnings or around some sort of news. Coke reporting better than expected quarterly profit, even though a 5% fall in revenue was on their books for this quarter. That was still better than expected. Obviously, restaurants, bars, all closed because of the pandemic, so they were expecting not good. Came in revenue down to $8.61 billion versus $9.07 billion. So even with restaurants, things of that nature closed, they were still able to have a decent quarter here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess decent is probably the best word to put it into. When you look at this chart, you gotta it just stands out at 51.50. I mean, it's hard not to look at this and say it's possible resistance to the upside. Whoa, Tilray did break 58. So quickly, just like as I was just talking about that 58 level, I paid up to 58.14, immediately hit offer and just scalped out like a 30-cent win and hanging on to the rest. And that means Sundial also running to the upside. So I'll probably take some out in front of 59, see where this one goes. But on the note of Coke, I'm expecting there to be some resistance at that 51.50. And as I look at it right now, it already made one top pullback, another top pullback at 51. And there is an NYB on level 2, if I can quickly show you there. So there's a New York book right at 51, so it's a bit shy of that high. I think there'll be some resistance there. I mean, I'd love to be fading that play if I can, but if it bursts right through, the only trade I want on Coke is shorting off that 51.50. And if it can't hold that at the open, there's probably no trade for me at all today on Coke.
Yeah, I like Coke, but we were just tweeting out about our SNDL, and then there it is as well there. Out some UAA there, so a nice little 40, 50-cent win there to start the day on UAA. We're going to hold the rest to see if it takes out this 23. But just quickly on Coke, we won't spend too much time as it could be exciting today. 750,000 shares. The reason why I'm excited for Coke, and I'm wondering about buying this now in my own account, other than the fact that it's a very, very sleepy stock. I mean, it doesn't move a hell of a lot. You should have taken advantage of it here on this dip, like 60, like what the hell, 60 down to 36 there on Coke. But what I was looking at was more this area. You had some consolidations here for about 2 weeks between 48 and 49.50, let's call it there on the top. And now you get that. I mean, you broke out a little bit yesterday, but now is more the confirmation. So sure, there is a beautiful break spot right now on Coke happening. So where's VWAP? 51.20. So get ready. We could take out this 51, and then we start going to the high side there on KO. So watch out for 51. Shout out to KO, Kevin O'Leary as well. What's up? And SNDL just took a little bit out, but let's see if we can't moon gang on this one, guys.
Let's talk GM here, guys. More earnings. GM better than expected across the board, but it was that little tagline at the end of the report saying that lack of semiconductors and chips may affect their current quarter and full year 2021 production. So we saw a big reversal in the pre-market here for GM this morning.
Yeah, I mean, big reversal is a little bit of an understatement there. Anytime you see double top and then a reversal off a level like that, you do have to worry about some profit taking. It is a signal to some people that you're going to want to make sure that you lock in. We've seen that on earnings, that rubber band effect. So if it does actually continue any further than what I'm seeing right now, as, oh, yeah, there goes Tilray. So Tilray goes to 59, just got some out, 58, 88. I don't know why I picked that number, 88. Is that Eric Lindros? Maybe that's what I had in my head. Probably not. As far as General Motors goes, when you get this kind of whipsaw action, what you should be looking for, and I'm looking at other things in the pre-market, is look at all of this chop. We talk about these cluster zones, I guess is what we've been calling them, the 54.20 to like 54.80. And if you're nimble enough, you just say to yourself, park a bid in front of those levels. I mean, it worked for you in the pre-market here. I would anticipate if the same thing were to happen again, the only way I would like it is if it actually held above that level. So if it does another dip, it's got to hold like 55 instead of 54 for me to like that name. Sorry, for me to like that trade. Otherwise, I mean, I'm going to lock away 57.30 as a bit of a break through the top. I mean, Sundial right to the high of the day now, and here comes 60 on Tilray. So already a couple of dollars in the money if it breaks 60 on Tilray, and Sundial making fresh highs. Got that one at 4.5. Everything so far working. You just had to stick to that. Just got to stick to the weed names. I mean, it's going to be Weed Batman today because I don't even think GM's going to be as good as some of the moves we're going to see over in the cannabis space, Sean.
I'm already pretty, I mean, you guys know the kind of share sizes, so we're already pretty huge here on SNDL. We did get a pickup right here at VWAP 202 or 203, I think it was, plus that 211 break. So average price right now 207, and I mean, okay, I don't even know where I'm going to drop this one. I do have an offer at 19, so we'll see there. But we're already moonshining right now and smoking that good stuff as we go. Yes, let's just keep on going. I told you I don't have any offers out. This is already a monster trade. We're going to be at just that small one-time daily goal reached already if it breaks through 15. So that's that. We'll take that. Love my weed, people saying on the show there. Okay, here goes 16, 15, 16. This is why we don't drop that much of it, guys. I'm still in 75% of this trade as we go higher, 216, and still just murking levels to the upside, so that's a great trade. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I did have something to say. I'll think Oh, GM, that's what it was. Thank you, Brendan. I wanted to go to Ford. I made quite a big purchase yesterday in Ford as well. Down around here, man, 1180, 1190. I put that in the 401k, or for those of you in Canada, the RRSP account. So I'm going to take a little bit more off on Sundial 15s. Okay, we just took that out as well. But yeah, I like Ford here, going to the high side there on a decent GM news. Obviously, the bad news there was the semi news, that they're going to be out of, what was it, a little bit of chip supply issues, but whatever. GM still rocking and rolling down there. It's going to take out highs. I love GM. Recent buy, I'm long GM $48, so we could talk about that as well. That's a good little trade. And then now Ford long 675 and added a lot more shares to it yesterday, 1180. I love the automotives, and bam! Do I love Sundial? Bang! We're just this. I haven't even traded this that much, and here we go, man. Booming to the high side now goes Sundial, and your boy has almost all his shares left. Let's go, Brendo. What a big day already.
All right, guys, let's go back to Chinese names here. Baidu, we mentioned it right off the top of the show. A lot of people still coming in. Welcome, guys, if you're joining us for the first time. Let's talk about Baidu. They're talking about raising cash from some private equity firms in order to either fund their own AI semiconductor company or look to maybe grab one that is not already taken. So Baidu getting into the chip making business?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's been the story. I mean, everybody. Oh, look, the capacity for those 5mm nano chips that everyone talks about. You're essentially like talking about TSM. It's just a couple of firms that are doing them. So I mean, Apple's getting into making their own chips. I mean, Baidu. It doesn't seem crazy to me. We talked about the missed opportunity on Baidu on the break yesterday, and I mean, you get this level, a stock gets sort of grinding to the upside like it did, and then you get this a day and a half consolidation because of just the morning, and then that 282 break, which was phenomenal. Now, if it does the same thing, you're talking about like a 320 as some resistance at 61 on Tilray, by the way, guys. It just ticked up there a couple of times, and someone just marketed it down like 50 or 60 pennies, but 60 on the bid is at least holding up. So going to hang on to that long trade as long as it wants to keep moonshotting. But Baidu, I was looking at a 320 break, and then this little breakdown happened at 312. So if it's going to continue this push down, I look towards the high yesterday at just above 304 and say 305. That would be a good little dip buy there in Baidu. Ignore this wick. That little pre-market action trade, who cares? That's just the dark pool that came in. So 305 yesterday's high. That's what I'm going to like here on any kind of a dip in Baidu. Otherwise, 320 break. I mean, that break yesterday gave you a monster winner, like a $20, $25 win. I'm not saying the same thing happens today, but everyone's going to be looking at it. There's 220 on Sundial. There's 61 breaking. New fresh high in Tilray, 61.80. So that's now over $3 in the money. And now Sundial, 15 pennies. I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, they're both fantastic trades.
I mean, what a monster trade here on Sundial, guys. I loaded up. I haven't traded it that much, but I mean, there it is, guys. Sometimes it's easy, and when it's with Sundial, it's very easy, apparently, today. As we just go long, we get, I don't know. I mean, what else are we going to say? Let's just put a big smile on our face to start the day here. Now, 1.5 times daily goal right here. Okay, we're just going upside now. Tilray, great call by Neil there on that break. And here goes Sundial, guys. We don't show our nets, but it's a big trade.
Okay, the other one you're in, Sean. Under Armour, next on the watch list here. Big earnings report for Under Armour. Kind of unexpected, but they did take advantage of increased demand, online demand, talking about e-commerce sales that were through the roof. Everyone looking for Under Armour gear, guys, for home workouts. Yeah, they are. I mean, to me, it was a little bit of an easy play there. I do like Nike, obviously, better as a longer-term play. But Under Armour, yeah, just nothing but love here to the upside. We're still long. I mean, we're going to go 2 for 2 here, and 2 for 2 huge. Under Armour, we don't have as many shares here because, again, this is 830. We took that, right? I still like it going through. We talked about the chart if you joined us a bit earlier. I mean, what else do we want? It does break that level. We talked about that again earlier. It's just following this 50 period all the way up. It doesn't even really breach it. I mean, we get a little bit of action there, wondering where the 50 period was at that time. But yeah, it just resists that 1750. And now you're seeing it right to the upside. I think there's just a lot more upside to go as SNDL now coming back down a little bit. But UAA just right back up to the upside there. And SNDL by a little bit, I mean 1 penny. It was upside 224, 225. And here we go again, guys. That's the daily chart. Let's see, it gets a
little bit more off right now, and then we'll hold it. I still have half of what we had down here, so that's just the kind of day that it's been. But sundial to the moon, and I love that Under Armour play. You hit it right on the head there. Trade Nike. Oh wow, there's only 10 minutes to go. I like Nike. I like Under Armour, and there's a whole bunch, guys. Find out. You're not going to be able to get it, but it's on my Twitter and I think Instagram there with the sticky notes. But what a big day this has been. SNDL, baby. I'm going to get on another piece right now.
Yeah, and one of the things about Under Armour, right before we went out of the show, was like they better beat. And they needed to, and they absolutely did. And anytime you had this coiled up action like this, I mean, if they didn't beat the heavy short, it was certainly ripe for a pullback, but rubber bands work both ways. Now it's sort of blasting to that upside. It's only done 400,000 shares in pre-market volume, so the chance that there's going to be some profit taking is at least still in there. And if you get any chance at 21s, definitely going to like that. I do want to, if I can, I know only because there's only 20 minutes left here, and Tilray is still going crazy. It's now consolidating off the top here. So, I mean, the 54 break was the one that's going to probably the one that got away, and I'll call that all day long here. But still hanging on to the 58 break. If this gets through 65, I'm probably going to throw in a trail at the open. There's 10 minutes, so if it makes a moonshot through 65, I'm going to put a trailing stop in because I don't want 930 selling to take me out without a bit of a plan. And if I can lock in if I can lock in $7 before the open, I'll be perfectly happy doing that. I mean, when it comes to squeeze plays, I try not to sit there holding it forever. And that 930 mark does loom large here. And it is starting to, like I said, consolidate at this little top. Sundial's already turned 63.50, this current high. It cannot seem to hold it. If it gets back to call it that 58 level we got back in, that could be a reload spot here on Tilray. But what a crazy morning it's already been in. We're not even at the open yet.
Heads up on Cisco, guys. Anyone looking at Cisco, the CEO? Yeah, CEO on that other channel right now, CNBC. So heads up if you're looking at Cisco here, as we are 9 minutes from the open. Let's talk about Veru, this recent high flyer, VERU. Yeah, it was up, I think it was Monday. We were talking about this one on positive trial results from a cancer treatment. Then they come out aftermarket yesterday with better than expected earnings. So this little VERU up again today, 12.75% here. You can see actually 3 days in a row now, straight to the upside. This thing was below $10 last week.
I'm going to say but. I'll throw a but in here. But yesterday's high 24.50, pre-market high 24.50. I mean, ish. I mean, it was 24.60 yesterday, but you know what I'm getting at. Oh, there's that 65 break. So look, Tilray just broke above 65. It didn't actually get very far, so I'm not going to put in a trail when it goes to 65.50. If it clears and holds a bit above, I'll throw that trail in. Otherwise, if it sells harsh at this point, it's too deep in the money to be too worried about it. This Veru, like I said, that double top, I'm going to pick on it today as maybe the day that it tries to do a little bit of a turnaround. You got to be careful with these. But certainly, I think if it can hold 23, and there's another 65, this is just insane, another 65 break. I'm starting to think about where I should dip by Sundial if Tilray is going to continue going here. I thought 210, but it's at 216 right now. I'll probably be trying to sell in front of a 23 off of the open, and the high of the day, if that does break, I would never hold a short through that on Veru, but I think it's got at least a little bit of sign of weakness here today, even though it's up 12 or 13%. Got a double top now 2 days in a row.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to say, I didn't know if we were going to go to Brendan there quickly, but wow. I dumped pretty much, just like I said, not all, but I have 20%, maybe a little bit less of Sundial left here. So what a big trade. Again, it stopped at 225. You guys know I play quarters all the time. So when that stopped, easy for me to get out here, bang, bang, bang. A big unload at the top, and it is what it is, but that's what we did there. So that's a good out. Now we'll wait to see if it breaks through $2. And yeah, so I'm super happy also. I didn't, like I said, it's my bad. It's bad portfolio management. I didn't even realize how much Afria I had in the account because I was buying it down at the cheap side. So I'm loving this price action on Tilray and on Afria today. But again, maybe a little high side action on some of these stocks as they just continue to go crazy here in the weed space. But yeah, we're high on our net today, and hopefully we can keep it there with some of these plays, guys.
Let's talk about Biopath, one at the bottom of the watch list this morning. If you want to see a very epic short squeeze, go back to, I believe it was late spring, kind of early summer last year. This thing went on a 2 or 3 day tear. It was like 2,000 or 3,000% on a short squeeze. BPTH, I'm talking about already, yeah, 200%. We went from 8 to 18 in the past kind of 20 minutes or so. They have new technology that they got a patent for in the medical health space. So a heads up on BPTH, guys. Low float, highly shorted as well.
We'll already do this one, guys. We'll power it up. Why not? So look, I said if it holds, if it actually made a bid above 65, I'd throw that trail in there. And look, it's going into 930. I don't mind doing this every single time. And if the stock moonshots to 75, that's fair enough. It'll be just shy of a $7 win because 65 did break. But either way, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I still have some of my sundial. It's not much. It's actually less than 10%. Usually I'd be holding on to about 10% in this particular case, but it's actually shy of that number. I'm still looking, and let me cancel this bid, that 04 that was down here. I think maybe you look at this like 210 area for the possible dip. Definitely too even. I think that still comes into play. There's still a monster bid. Well, last I checked, it was still a good size bid at 2 even if this does come down any further, as long as Tilray, which it is, currently still making fresh highs. So maybe I got it too early. It's going to happen sometimes. You got to have a little bit of a target. In pre-market, I'm not trying to hold into that open where I think sometimes you can get that profit taking that comes in at 9:30. At least that's what I'm anticipating. Doesn't seem like it yet, though, Sean.
Nope, I'm going to hold mine. So we'll see there how it goes, but it's already a huge day. Okay, so I just put a bid in here, 64.50 or so on Twitter. We'll see if it can hold some of these levels. It's off to the races, so that would be like a lucky fill if we get down there. So there's no doubt about that. I don't know what to do with it. I'd rather watch it open and then play it off of hopefully some decent bounces there. Check in on the imbalance locator as it has forward. I talked about how that was a big buy for me yesterday. And look, I don't have a problem telling you guys my positions. It is what it is. I'm a buyer of a lot of different names. I'm very, very diversified in the old portfolio there. And we put on some Ford yesterday. And yeah, I've been really super happy with that. Missed Uber, but that's also on the watch, so we could switch over to Uber a little bit. I don't own any Uber. I should have, and yeah, that's broken out as well. But look at this, coming right back into some of these levels of yesterday's post-market action there. As out of the corner of my eye, I watch SNDL just bouncing around 17. 61.80, 62. Look, we were down as low as 59 yesterday. This is why I consider Uber a missed opportunity. It broke back down through here, 50, 52. That was a great call if you had that breaking through this little level there. And I know a lot of people love Uber, but watch out for this little level here. 60.25, if not 60, if not 59.50. So again, no like early breaks for me on any of these names. A name that we haven't talked about though, Brendan, is Palantir. Again, a name that I love and a name that I'm not selling any more shares of. I'm long 975, something like that, on this name. And again, whatever, it's up 4 times, but there's lots of stocks that are up 4 times. I just think that, once we get above this 40, it's actually 39.60, then we're going to go on Palantir, and we're probably never going to come back unless there's a market crash. And I told the wife yesterday, if this market ever crashes, I'm just buying a lot of Palantir, whatever the price is, whatever a bottom I think is coming. But okay, 37.78 again. Palantir tends to fall off the open. We got a question on our AMA and yesterday even as well about these kind of moves. So we will wait to see if Palantir falls, and if it does, let's see if it holds 37.50.
And it's just a couple more names to go over here. I'll reiterate, we were talking about Baidu a little bit earlier. It is looking like it's having some trouble through this 315 area, so there is that chance that it does make the dip. If it can hold that bottom, going to look to see if we can play this one off of that low. 320 does remain an interesting breakout as long as it can get there, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen right away. I want to come to Cassava Sciences, if only because they did have an offering. Finally, I suppose, is the best way to put it, because after what this stock has done, going to 125 and back and leveled off at 50, it made sense for them to take advantage of that favorable price action for them. So far, somewhat well received, I will say, just because it bounced off 50 a couple of times. Now here's a key price. It's breaking through 52.50. Now I'm going to have this one I'm going to definitely have this one to the short side if we hold this level here. Off of the open, but this is more of a post 930 play, and it just broke 2 seconds ago. So if it holds above, we'll throw that one out the window. It's too well received in that particular case. Maybe that was the bottom pick at 215. I was waiting for 210 on sundial. Might have come and gone, guys. So it is what it is. These things are going to happen. And CGIX, it'll be $1 in the money that I just got out. But this stock was really consolidating off of this 1250 low. So I just got out. It was a 15.15 short. I'm just getting out of it right here for the buck. I don't want this to break to the upside and give me an entry off the high of the day. And I just sat there and stared that profit in the face, guys. So not going to look that gift horse in the mouth on CGIX, which has been a fantastic short all morning, but showing some signs of strength here.
Okay, we're getting ready to load up on Cisco here. I'm just making sure it's not a short sale restricted, which it's not.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. It shouldn't be anyway. It's only down 4%.
Well, it's only 5%.
SNDL just comes out as a bid. It's getting paired off. You can see it's already paired off. 14 million, wherever it was. There it is. 14 million already paired on SNDL. So a nice little move up. And look what your boy did. We got out of a little bit more there at 21, sorry, on the way back up. So now we're just going to see if this can go, man. I don't have any upside targets, like maybe 250, something like that. But yeah, a big win here for me on SNDL. Needless to say, Cisco looking at that one. And then looking at NEO as well, trying to break through 63. I do like that. If that can come through, 63 on NEO, maybe a defend there of 62.
And ready to drop this countdown. It is hump day. It's a good start to that day. I don't know who's on the bell, but I'm going to drop the countdown anyways. It is Mr. Lucas from our production team on the bell today. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wow, Tilray still over 66. Unbelievable. This market is open. I cannot believe how strong Tilray is. It's absolutely crazy. Still above that 65 area that I just got into, but I'm immediately watching that Cisco as well to see if it goes to the downside. And then Sundial testing that 215 already, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So we just got some more out on Sundial there at 18. Now we'll just try to let the rest go. I mean, it is what it is. We did get out of some there and not too worried. If it fades back in, man, we're already huge on Sundial. We will watch that. Under Armour, not open yet, but we got a nice little runner here. 22.30. Let's just see where it goes from here. Sundial coming back down, so maybe we'll get out a little bit more as it is coming back down. Nothing else hitting for us right now. We have NEO, looking at Uber, looking at a few different things. There's Palantir starting a position on Palantir now at 38. Let's see if it can defend that 37.50 we're talking about, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a very, very quick, if I can get it, I'm going to try to see if I can get a quick trade. And no, I do not get it on Sava. It comes right back down. It holds that 52.50 line and comes right back in. So I'm not going to chase it too far. I tried to get 52.25 to 30 to see if we can catch a nice little winner there. Going in opposite directions right now are Sundial and Tilray. Tilray went back down to 64. Sundial is retesting the top. So I'm going to be taking shares off in front of this 225, guys, only because Tilray making a bit of a bottom here, and I wanted to pick that one up to the long side if it breaks at 65. And as I say it, like there it goes. I mean, Sundial breaking to the upside there. So it's going to be like a 20-cent win for me. When I see Tilray come down like that, that's where I'm taking profit almost every single time.
Yeah, there goes the Sundial. Yeah, wow. I said 250, guys. Not playing. Okay, I'm not playing. Let's just see what happens there. We are playing around on our friend here, Palantir, because there it goes. Average. This was a very, very small one. They were all small, like you were just testing it out. That may have been the break back to the upside, though. So let's take another break, 37 right now. We might have just got broken out there by accident. Not by accident. I mean, we meant to do that. So we'll take a little bit small shares now, see if we can't make some back here. But yeah, SNDL just ripping faces off right now, guys. Big trade alert. What's up, Brendo?
Brendan?
Right, there we go. Okay, thanks, Robbie. Twitter, real quick, just above that pre-market high, gave you a really nice flush higher, above 67.25 there at the top, 11.5% for Twitter.
I can't believe we got out 36.90 there. I mean, why? That was like literally hunted my stop. It could come lower than that. But damn it, they got me on that one. So let's just see if that happens one more time. This time we'll go down to here, maybe 36.70. We'll average in a little bit more to Palantir here, just in case we get that big ripper going. But right now we have NEO to the long side as well. Out a little bit there on that 62 break, but we're loaded up now. Let's give this one a shot. Not a great start, but a decent start here. Let's see what happens with NEO, guys.
Yeah, I just picked up a dip on Tilray, and I'm watching Sundial. I mean, Tilray is absolutely sort of crashing down. It's trying to hold that 58 breakout from before, so I definitely picked it up. But I have to go over to Sundial because I want to be playing this 250 area. If I'm still looking at weakness in Tilray, which I wanted to bounce, obviously, I definitely would have been taking that short, but it didn't quite get to 50s. It got to 48 on that little turn. Tilray bouncing a little bit. If it goes to 62.50 Tilray, I'm long 60 half-ish area. I'll take some off scalping at about $1.50 to $2 to the upside. But wow, that was Sundial. And I was looking for that turn. Couldn't quite catch it there. It just was not fast enough.
Yeah, let's go NEO as well, man. A big win again on this side here. As look at this buy down here, 61.50. Let's just keep ripping to the upside here. And we're just monsters everywhere right now, except for Palantir. Palantir does go up nicely there, about 50 cents in the money. I don't take it. SNDL, we dumped some there, high side. What a bunch of good outs there, 40, 45. I was joking, not joking, but I said, where's it going? 250. So when it gets there, I got to take some out. Bye-bye, NEO. Bang! It's hot dog time. Let's go, NEO. What up, Ren?
H guys halted, just double checking if it's news related or not. They had a couple of news releases this morning. Don't see it on here yet, but BPTH halted downside, guys.
Always looking for those downside halts. I mean, I'm going to look at that one on the reopen. Just bounced on Tilray off of that 58 area. I did miss. I tried to catch it on the way up. Look at that wick. It's absolute craziness. So it's a little tricky to catch this on the flip side. Like I said, if it gets into that 62, half, 63 range, that's when I'd look to start taking some off. More at 65. And then you watch for that high of day, of course. And Sundial retesting 250 as an open area. I also mentioned Viru. I like the weakness. This happened to me off of the open. I had a 22.75 in front of that 23. I'm going to guess this was a dark pool print because I should have got that fill if it really did come up there. But that's showing the weakness that I anticipated. I was just maybe too picky. If I'd been at 22.50 instead of 75, I'd probably get that fill. There goes Tilray off that bounce.
Yeah.
It's just look, it's crazy action, and it's sort of hard to predict exactly where that bottom was going to be. I just had 58 as the level that I liked on Tilray. Going to start taking some out here at 62. First entry was too early. Can't get in at 61 when I'm waiting for a 58, but I got some at 59 and then missed my real shot here when it gave you that 58 entry.
Real shots fired right now, guys, on Neo. We're just going to get out like a boom. What a monster trade here on Neo, guys. We take some more, breaking through 63. Damn it. Why didn't we just hold all of this? What a monster trade. I'm huge again today, guys. Palantir was the biggest problem for me. And if we didn't have that trade, then we'd be 5 times our daily net. 3 times right now. Go. Look at this trade. Again, give it to you on the sticky note. Neo 63. Let's go. But we loaded up a lot more down here. Still to the high side. Go, Neo, go. Man, what a big day this is. SNDL, UAA, Palantir, Neo, Sundial, whatever. Give it, Bran.
We saw Microvision yesterday, guys. Some of these LiDAR companies popping up again. Laser leading the way today. Luminar and Velodyne, VLDR, both higher. New deal involving some airport ground vehicles they're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll go with fist bumping action, guys. I finally got into that Viru, so I'm very happy about this. Look, I talk about this all the time. If you miss it the first time, it actually gives you the entry the second. 23.50 breaks. Fair enough. I'll get out of that trade. I already have my stop locked and loaded there. Tilray does make that break. This last congestion zone here at 63.50. Was able to get some out in front of 64, so I'm still going to hang on. Like I hang on to that last third like I did on the initial break at 58. I'll do the same thing on the dip buy. If it does bust through this time, that 58 level, I won't give it all the way down to that little wick low that it had. I'll definitely only give it to that 58 even, around where VWAP is, and who cares what VWAP is at this particular time. I like the 58 price better. Veru already $1 in the money. The low here at the open was 20.80. So I definitely will be taking profit in front of that. So the halfway, of course, is going to be that buck in the money. We'll let that get taken out here. And I guess I go bearish on this particular one. I was going to short this one no matter what. At some point today, thank goodness it gave me that second entry at 22.75.
Yep, and more. We're just loving life right now. We did get out of the majority of our Neo right now, and we should have probably held it as it is just ripping right now. I don't know what the news was there, probably nothing, but what a great buy that was. I have to keep doing that every single day if I can. Now, I mean, this bottom is 61.50. It's at 63.72, so that's a $2 winner right there for Neo off the top. So really happy with the way that trade has paired itself out. Palantir starting to go a little bit now. Call it up, sorry. We're going to get out here in the 40s if we can. It's 40 right now. I don't know where. There we go. Just out right now. What's up, Bren?
Volume alert here, guys, on CGC. Above 55. Had a volume alert there. Head out. 12.5% already for CGC, which is 52-week highs.
Yes, sir, man. 12.5%. We'll take that on CGC, but also we are looking at Sundial. So lots of stuff happening here for us today. But look at Palantir now ripping off faces. If I just didn't dump that trade, man, we'd be huge today. But whatever. Cried, spilled milk, whatever that saying is. Let's just move on and get some more trades for you guys.
Yeah, and I actually have to make sure I get those BHTG shorts. I should have been checking this one. I thought I actually put them in. But I think it's like 11 cents a share. So I'm going to get those loaded as fast as I can because I want to make sure I get that trade. And watch out for Cassava Sciences. I mean, the first shot here at that 22.50, it did come in for me. But I wanted that one, hopefully, after the open. I mean, it gave you this little shot here. I don't like it the second time. Sava holds this little bottom. If it tested it broke through 51, I'd like it a little bit better. But so far, it's looking like it's received that pretty well when it comes to that offering, guys. So here we have BHTG. Like I said, 11 cents a share. I'm going to make sure I get that locked and loaded. If it's going to be a halt fest, I got a plan of action for that particular trade. But Cassava Sciences, I think it's going to be a no-go for me. Going to be watching this BHTG. which is still continuing to show signs of weakness here, guys. So it just broke that 4. Now if it breaks like this 360, I'm probably going to have it. It's got so much room to come back in. This is one I wanted to have to the short side today.
Look, man, there's just a lot happening here and good calls on some of these plays for us. I mean, Neo, everything just ripping right now. Really, really couldn't be happier with the way this day has turned out for itself. And yeah, just a lot of winners everywhere for you, including Palantir, now 50 cents in the money. Look, I talked about that already. It was a missed opportunity for us. We did, for some reason, dumped out there. It looks like they hunted our stop. That's going to happen, and it happens to the best of us. And there it is, like probably the worst out by far that you'll see on the show today. Like literally the bottom wick on a stock that I had hundreds of shares on, so whatever, but we make that money right back now as we go back to the upside. What's going on, Brendo?
Another earnings name here, guys. Teva Pharmaceuticals reported, looks like in the pre-market here, but downside action so far, 1330, 1350 areas to watch if we get back up there, but straight southbound for Teva.
Yeah, speaking of southbound, Tilray comes back to that 58. 58 breaks. I still have that final third of our other long. And then, whoops, I didn't mean to go to Virgin Galactic. I meant to go to a Sundial for you guys. And this has now again pulled back into that 215, 220 range. So it's going to be a couple of bounce plays here. But, I mean, we already have one in Tilray, and if that breaks that 58 level, I'm not going to like it as much on Sundial, but it's just no ignoring. 220 holding up rather nicely. So if I can pick some shares up in front of it, you got this one bounce at 210 that was a missed opportunity. Now another one coming at 220. And if Tilray goes back through 60, you know this one's going to be a runner as well.
Yeah, Tilray, big move.
Oh,
I mean, we're 4 times daily goal right now, guys, including this Neo trade that's been beautiful for us to the upside there. Again, look, the future's coming down a little bit here, so we're long a lot of stock. So, you know, it is what it is for right now, but we need to get some out of this. So we're already out of a lot. We hold about 20% or so. So, you know, still some damage should be done here, especially if it goes back down. We don't want to be holding it. We are long 63.03 it shows, but you can't see in here, but double the damage right there on those plays. And then look at Palantir, guys. Like, honestly, I called these moves. I said at the beginning of the day, this happens. And then literally got hunted down here to 36.90, like so stupid. We buy it right back though, but we had to pay 29s. If we still had this one, guys, I probably would be having a heart attack right now because that's the kind of day that we would have had. And we're still having a great day. It's 3.5 times daily goal, but we have given some back on this Neo drop. Got to get some out, guys.
And BHTG, just in the nick of time, guys, it just broke that 360. I was able to get the shares there at 56, immediately scalping out like a 10-cent win on that particular name. Tilray does stop out that last third when 58 broke. And then I got into Sundial, which if I can take like because 20's on the bid right now. I just got out on that bid. I was going to try to show you guys level 2. If Sundial's going to continue to push down, well, I just saw Tilray at 55. I'm not going to hold on to that dip. That just seems a little bit reckless to me. There's actual break, so let's get out of the rest of those shares here on Sundial. 20 does not even hold. You saw a big buyer there, but it just chewed right through it. So all I have left right now, Viru and the BHTG, and looking for a bottom on Tilray. And if that happens, then you can start digging into Sundial. Let's not forget, 2 and 205 were fantastic dip buy opportunities. It could be the same thing if this falls any further here.
Agreed, and more agreed. Neo, we just got out some more there as it does come right back to the high side. So, yeah, we're just jamming right now with this stock. Let's just keep going, guys. Neo, watching this go. We'll see if it holds 63. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another earnings name, guys. Enphase Energy reported aftermarket yesterday. You can see better than expected results here. Big pop in the aftermarket. Yeah, this was 202. It's now at 228 for ENPH. So huge move.
Oh my goodness, GameStop.
Weed names, guys, going through. I mean, that's Endo there, but yeah, a good day today. We still do have our SNDL, but we're very, very light on that one. Oh wow, okay, all the way back. That's why I don't even notice it. All the way back down, we've destroyed SNDL. My number one stock today, SNDL, actually Neo, now my number one stock, not SNDL, as we'll regroup that one. But yeah, still to the upside. SNDL coming back. We're gonna get out of this one right now.
And oh goodness, it's going to happen to you. Like, I'm not going to complain if I'm positive on everything I trade and I have if I have half a dozen names, then a missed opportunity is a missed opportunity. Well, look, we talked about these breaks for 2 days in a row, 50-50 and 50 on GameStop. Yeah, right through it, choose through. Now 47 is a double bottom on the bid. I'll take a crack at this, but I mean, at this point, you don't want to sit here thinking, okay, it's going to be as good as the original 50 break would be. So maybe size down a little bit. I'll probably use half of what I was using yesterday on that 47 break. If it does, it's the same sort of trade that we were doing in yesterday's action. In and out rather quickly, almost as fast as we can here. But GameStop, it did do that 50 break. It was essentially basically free money, as you can see on the chart here.
Ugh, Man, I hate missing out on some free money, but I mean, this is a $3 winner right now. If you still hold this from the bottom, 61.40 up to 64 right now, I guess $2.60 in the money there on this play. But NEO, big time trading happening over here on NIO and on Palantir, man. I mean, we just got some out there, 38.10 out now. This is a this is a 50-cent winner, sorry, on board. $1 plus now as NEO's going to take out 60. There it is. It's going to take out 64. And again, if you check out the sticky note today, then you'd be running some money through because it's been a good one. I'll put my Twitter back up on the chat there. You can follow it. I'll try to put that sticky note up as much as I can. Today we had a little bit extra time in the morning, so I was able to get that up. But there we go, 63 bid, and then look where we got, 61.40, 62 even, 63 break. Now we're running to the upside. What a monster day this is. SNDL, we didn't get any out on the downside. We also didn't reload. That was a mistake. So now SNDL just keeps on going, guys. Wow and wow. 5 times daily goal met, guys. Yeah,
there goes GME through 47. It's not nearly as good as 50 was going to be, at least initially. It scalped it down to that 46.50 area before it tries to bounce. I'll hang on to the last third in case it can hold, give it to 47.40 or so, this little top here, where there was some consolidation. So I'll risk 40 to 50 pennies plus maybe a little slippage to see if we can get a $1.50 to $2 move out of the last of this, which is what would have happened if we took that 50 short, which, I mean, there's no question about it. That's the better play. But look, you're going to have missed opportunities here and there. And again, I'm not going to complain about it on a day like today. You just can't do it. Another name that we're watching was that GSAT. This is a sign of strength, at least for the time being. We're talking about dip buys over in Sundial. But look at GSAT. Holding 265 pre-market and then a couple of times here since the open. So let's look out, watch closely as GameStop does break out 47.40. So we'll have the last third's going to be a hit. Still up on the stock overall, but man, I missed that 50 trade.
Yeah,
but watch GSAT. If GSAT breaks high of the day, I'm watching 307. It looks like is the top.
All right, good call on GSAT. Yeah, what's up, Brendo?
Crazy one from yesterday, guys, just popping up here. Was halted there briefly. Big volatility halt to the upside through 21. This thing opened at 25 on the reopen there, so up to 26 now for AUVI.
Stock's stupid.
That stock is nuts. Yeah, AUVI. You saw that was your lunch money trade there yesterday, and it paid off a lot more than lunch money yesterday as it just kept on going up. We're just watching NEO here. I'm pretty light on it, but wow, what a monster day this has been on NIO for me. My best day in a long time off this $3 winner. So let's just keep it going to the high side now on NIO. Still watching Palantir just ripping its face off as well to the upside. We talked about that one. Unfortunately, we did get wicked out on that. Otherwise, I mean, like I said, man, the day we'd be having would be ridiculous. I already feel like it is. But more to come here as Palantir. We'll see how high this one wants to fly, guys. We're almost out of it, but it would be nice to see it go higher.
So I'm obviously going to be on this, at least watching it. I don't have a trade in AUVI just yet, but after yesterday's action, it's going to be too hard to ignore it. It's just maybe zoom out so you can see some of these levels. It's already giving you one halt to the upside. I like down halts, so if it halts again and can hold some of those levels, I would at least try the short trade. It's not anywhere close to that little double top it had at 35 even. But it is right around those breakouts that we had for that lunchtime trade that we talked about, guys. So if these are key levels, if it does not make a further push through, watch out. This little afternoon breakdown, this was the halt price in the afternoon, 28, and then this little 26 level, both key as well. So if it halts down in front of those, definitely worth a short opportunity there.
Okay, so we are going to get out. Oh, I missed that. I thought I got out some 38.10s there on Palantir, but I did not. So yeah, scratch that. I was going to say we got out some 38.10s, but we didn't there on Palantir. So let's watch out for that one on the high side right now. We do like it still, but I am trying to get out of some Palantir as well. NEO, we've gotten some out there. It does touch that basically that $3 mark that we were talking. Actually, more than $3 in the money. Goes up to 64.50 and turns around. Watch out for that play as well, guys. Looks like we may be turning around from that 64.50 level.
And BHTG here, it just makes a bit of a bounce back up. There is this, the first flush was at $4, guys. So I want to see if I can take some more shares in front of that 4 even. And that's not beating up on it. It's just shorting the pops here in that particular name as long as it wants to hold these levels. So you did see me add into that one. I'd like to see if I can't get more on consolidation. Brendan, again, what's up, buddy?
BPTH, I was talking about this one right before the open here, guys. We're up 348% now, soon to be 350%. It was March. I mentioned that short squeeze from last year. Go back to March, have a look. It went from $220 to $72 in 2 days. So this thing has a tiny float, 4 million shares, guys.
Okay, yeah, just working around in some other stocks here. UAA, still the same kind of thing, guys. 23.10 to the high side there, so watch out for UAA, still making moves here. It was just our easy early trade there. It does come back to 23.30. We didn't dump it. I'm thinking that right now, maybe the wings are out of this one, so let's look to possibly get out of UAA upside here, 23. The high is 23.10, so let's see if it breaks that 14. If it doesn't, then I think it's probably worth getting out. And then, like I just said here, NEO as well, a beautiful win on this one, but we got to get a little bit lighter here as we go. But right now, guys, a big time trading today. The only stock we lost on was Palantir, and that should not, I repeat, should not have been a loser, but we did get that bottom wick hunt down for us. So sometimes that happens. And then look at SNDL. Diamond hands. Oh, here, we can talk about diamond hands. Where's that diamond hand thing that we have? There it is. Used to see demon hand, but now it says diamond hand. And you can see there, we did hold some SNDL, guys. So right back to the high side now. Let's get a little bit more out. Let's put those diamonds into a little bit of platinum. And then we'll get out here at 235 if we can. Maybe some right now. Hold the rest. See if we break that 250, but big trade alert.
Yeah, and also going to be on the radar is that BPTH. I don't want to confuse BHTG, which is heading to the downside on weakness, and BPTH, which is moonshotting. It's every halt has been at least sort of resumed and now coming back to the upside. So if 25 is the next key level, if it breaks that, I'm looking for another halt to get me into a possible trade there. C3AI, we talked about this name a couple times and some missed opportunities. Load up, load up, load up. Monster move off the bottom here. It's now up $10, guys. This one is another big time pusher. And what an unbelievable move it just made off the low there. So I just want to put that to your attention. It was looking like it was going to drop like a stone. Now positive on the session. Brendan?
Another Chinese name, guys, starting to go here. YI, which is 111.com. 25%. You can see 2, 3, 4 days in a row now, up to $23 here. New agreement for them in China, providing medical services online, guys.
All right. Medical services, good little opportunity there for them. Okay, we talked about Alibaba. We haven't looked at that much today, as well as Baidu, but we just did. Like, see, unfortunately, like NEO there, I didn't get out enough at the top. It's still good, but we are out again. Now we're holding less than 10% of what we had, but I just took some out there on that 63.75 break. So now we'll hold it to the high side. If we can get back to 64, let's take some more out. But we're pretty much flat on that right now as well. We did do what we said we would with this Palantir, sorry, Sundial, SNDL trade there. And we got some out there at 32, like we mentioned. So that was a little out. Now we'll hold the rest for that 250 level and see if that gets taken out. But I don't know, Neil. I know you've been watching Tilray a little bit here. 63 and change. Wow, oh, what a move, like a 50% runner there today. I do prefer CGC, so I'll have to find some levels to get in. Wow, even that one up 15%. This is just a marijuana type of day today, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with, I don't know, the new winner chicken dinner. Look, Viru, we talk about this all the time. If it gives you one shot here at the open, and I had an order out and actually missed this move, and when it came the second time, I was able to actually get the same price, and thank goodness we did. It did stall out the first time, got like a dollar win. It just made another bounce, and anytime I get the second move, not the first, I'll zero in on that low of day, that 2080, and if it consolidates higher than that, I'll just get out on that bounce. So it's going to end up being like $1.25 on the second half of the trade. So not going to get that 2 to 250 winner that we probably would have had had I got the perfect top or had I actually gotten out at the absolute bottom on either one of these moves. But winner is a winner. I am not going to complain about them. Just now in that BHTG, and I talked about the reload on this one. Not to be mistaken with BPTH, which is still moonshotting, but reloaded on this. I want to short this one all the way up to 4 if it gets there, but once it consolidated around 70s, I picked some more shares up, got a 65 average price now. Start profit taking at 50 and lower, and then hopefully this gets down towards yesterday's close at 260.
Okay, so we're trying to follow our own rules here. We're waiting a little bit more above 64, but NEO rips right to 64, just like we said. So maybe I'm thinking about taking a piece off right now instead of ahead of 64, but the market coming to the downside here. Brendan, another headline?
Yeah, update on GM here, guys. I really didn't like that comment about a lack of chip supply. Big flush here for GM right from the open, 56.5 to 53.5 now. Huge volume behind GM.
Ooh. Yeah, we love Ford. I talked about why I love Ford earlier, and yeah, Ford coming into play again today. So GM on a big move, Brendan. I love GM, but yeah, downside right now, 53, bounces off that 53. Look at this level, 53.80 right here on some consolidation breaks. So maybe let's try that, 53.90 break here on GM. I like you.
And speaking of breaks, talk about a talk about getting out just in the nick of time, because that 47 break on Sundial, on GameStop, Sundial on the brain a little bit there. I got basically bottom wick here, 46.50 as far as it went. Got the tight stop at 47.40, and then look at it all the way back up almost to 50 even. Now, if it approaches 50, it didn't quite here, went to 49.40. That would have been sort of like that missed opportunity come back, not to haunt me, but to give me another chance. It didn't. I'm going to be picky about it the second time it comes through. I got to get a good price, 49.30, 49.40. That's not good enough. I would have wanted something closer to like 60, 70, 80 or so. But GameStop, wow, by the skin of my teeth, able to get it at that short. This is what happens if you hang on too long to this name. You can get yourself run over in either direction, let alone that short trade, which we've seen time and time again. I'm going to go back to that CGIX if I can, and this is another name. Sometimes your best trade isn't the winners we had in the pre-market, shorting off of 14.50 area. No, it's getting out. When I saw this consolidation here at 14.15, goes all the way to almost to the pre-market high of the day before reversing. It's now right back into the same range. So if it goes, and this bottom was a 12.50 bottom, if it breaks that, I think floodgates for sure. But if it holds that 14.15 where I got out originally, watch out for this retesting the high. And if it does not break 17.50, I would short this in the 16.60 range, 16.60 to 16.95 or something like that range to make sure the risk to reward is good. But that's a key level right here, right now on CGIX at 14.15.
Yeah, I always watch those key levels, and we always talk about risk management, guys, and why that's so important. And I mean, that's just another little bit tidbits there. Watching out for key levels, watching out for catalysts as well. We love trading stock with catalyst. And look, guys, I mean, this was bad luck, but Palantir's been great today. It makes that move and then right back to the upside, and we were able to get out a little bit there. So yeah, watch out for Palantir here, as I think it still has some room to run. So lots of stuff happening there. I want to give, I don't think we talked about this, the Monkey Shiner, thank you so much. You've been supporting us for a very long time, my friend. So there we go, BPTH, thank you so much with that. And then I think this is Colombian. I think we got this yesterday as well. Oh yeah, there it is, Colombia. 10K climbing about $8 USD. Thank you so much. This is a great channel. We know that, and we love it because you love it. So this is what we're passionate about. Me, Neil, Brendan, and I all passionate about the markets, if you can't tell. So yes, thank you for the support there, guys. Means a lot. Colombian dollars, whatever you want to send us is fantastic. Thank you again for all that love and that support. Keep them coming, guys. What's up, Brendo?
Another earnings name, guys. BG, a food processor, agricultural name here. They are from, I believe, South America as well. Double check on that. BG in New York, 2.5% to the upside, just broke 77 there. We are at all-time highs for this one after an earnings beat as well.
Speaking of highs, it's not at all-time highs or not even at the high of the day, but Sundial is on the march once again. And Tilray's back above that 60 area, so definitely going to be worth a watcher. I said if it goes to that top 250 is a number to watch. It got to 248 last time. If there's enough shares, and I'm talking 4 or 5 million on the offer, that's probably the only way you're going to get me to short this name. And that break, even if that break only goes to center two, trust me, if there's enough liquidity, that's going to be a good trade one way or the other. I'm looking at 35 in the face here. The only issue with that punch is it's stalled out at 40. So if I want to take this break at 35, but I think it's probably like a 2 or 3 cent win into that 40 as opposed to getting that home run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still long that SNDL. I mean, this is long from 03s, guys. I mean, this is 31 cents on $2. So it's already a big win for us. And yeah, we cashed out early on that one. So good win there on the upside. I am noticing like Afria and some of these names, oops, APHA over here on the NASDAQ, coming back in, right? I mean, we got to 31.50 there high side. Now we're battling on this downside look. So 28.50 break on Afria. We're going to go long because it's now building this little base here. I think this is a good opportunity. 28.50 on Afria. Take this thing long, guys, if we can get it.
Yeah, and that break on Sundial, it immediately gave me like the gross. I'm going to trim it down to like half my position. Immediately gave me the gross on the offer. Looked like it was going to go to that 40 and then stalled right out. So I have half of it left at that 35. I did take some out, so basically a flat trade so far. You got to watch out for this 230. If this 230 goes, I think we're testing VWAP down here, guys. So you don't want to throw it all away. I think there could be a dip at VWAP, and that's a much, much better play. So I'm going to get out at 30s. Be ready to reload on this name if it can bounce. And let's call it 220 because 222 is entirely too random of a number for me to be too concerned about it. But there is that little turn. So anyone thinking that 25 long or that 35 long break was in love with it, that's the out that makes it go all the way down to 220. That's why you make sure you get some out almost right away on that type of a move. I like 220 for a bit of a bounce, but note, it is putting in some lower highs, and Tilray just slid back beneath that 60, which is my barometer for the momentum here in Sundial.
Yeah, and here comes Sundial right back to the downside, so good call on that one. Neo, we got some out just like we said we would at 64, so now we're very, very light on that one. Still looking for some new ideas. I mean, you saw me put out a few conditional orders there. So what I do like here, just to go over some names here, GM. So if we click on GM here, you know what? I got to make it so I can switch my script so it automatically goes. I do like this break. We talked about that, 53.90. So if we can get above there, it looks like we're trying to march a little bit higher on that name. And then we do like a Cisco. You know what? We haven't looked at Cisco. I have Cisco on my radar here. Yeah, and that's why it's not doing anything. So I was waiting for 45.50 to break. That doesn't come through yet, but maybe we'll readjust it to this 45.85 level if that breaks. But right now it's not great. And then AMC, I mean, I could tell by what's happening with GameStop that this is going to be a no-go. But yeah, still waiting for that 620 to break, guys, on GameStop. Brendan, happening now. Tell us, bud.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, positive right across the board. Once again, let's have a look at North American markets here. You can see the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, all nicely positive on the day. The NASDAQ once again leading. So tech stocks seeing strength. Typically when that happens ends up being a pretty good day. So 0.5% for the composite, about 0.4 for the 100. Russell again today, more record highs here for the Russell, 0.75%. That thing has been crazy so far this year, 50% on the year so far for the Russell. TSX in Toronto, about 0.5%. Down in Brazil, the BOVESPA down 0.76% if you're following along in Brazil. A couple things to look at. Yeah, Baidu did give you that nice long 318 to 322, but look at this. We're breaking downside now. These pre-market lows being tested right as we speak. 308 support needs to hold, or Baidu could be in trouble. That's a pretty big gap to fill. Cisco, yeah, Sean just mentioned this one. 46 here ends up being support, trying to get back to the upside, but as mentioned, not doing anything for Cisco after earnings, guys.
Not doing anything, well, doing lots of things to this BPTH. I was trying to throw something funny in there. I really don't have anything for it, but I'm going to play this in a couple of directions here. Anytime you get these positive halts a couple of times, and it's now held this range, 2050 to this 2450 top, if I can get it, which I just did, at a reasonable price, this is a reverse all day long through the high of the day for me. I am going to take it long on a break through the top, just given the fact that it does not flush after basically holding the range after a reopen. So I do have it short, but trust me when I tell you, I'm not letting it go through the high of the day, and I'm absolutely taking the reverse into the long trade. So even if this works out, it would have to break 2050 for me to not be looking at that break at the high, which is currently 24.34, and I will definitely take profit out in front of that 2050 area just in case that whole price does come into play and hold up nicely. Now look, it's in the money for me right now, and like I might be able to take some of this out for a $1.50 winner, but I got to reiterate here, it's still showing some signs of strength. That's the reason that I would still put in that breakout trade if it does occur, so long as that down halt price holds up, which it looks like it still is. I will definitely take profit in front of it. If I can hold through, wow, this one could go to like 17.18, that little VWAP or trace that we're usually looking for, guys.
Yeah, BPTH, again, big super chat from that one as well. So good call there. To new member alert, let's shout him out quickly. Bends and Curves Media, what's up? Thank you for becoming a member, and shout out to Dale, who was also a member earlier. I think we have about 2,000 or 3,000 members now, so that's a good one for us. Here comes AMC, guys. Like, wow, we just talked about this. Was there news or something on this? I don't know, but AMC goes from $5.50 basically to $6 in a heartbeat right there. So let's watch out for AMC.
GameStop just went to 58.
Yeah, so
it just made a $7 move.
We'll find out. Oh, Testify. Nothing. Executives from Robinhood. That's 7 minutes ago, so I don't think that's anything. We already know that they're going to be on Capitol Hill to talk about this, Congress and whatnot. So, yeah, right now, AMC going nuts. This might be a good short opportunity. I still do like that 625 break. Let's just see what the news is, if it's anything, before I do step in to a short on this name, guys.
And I'm not hitting enough of these guys. Let's drop this new key. Like I said, I would do it. We're flying in. We're dropping the money this morning. It's been a fun one. If you're not liking the show, I don't even know what to say. And you know what? Take 2 seconds to hit that like, especially if you like these new animations, because Rob did a fantastic job with all of them. This BPTH, if you're holding along and 2050 breaks, which it could here, my target for this short 2280 is going to be right around 1820. It's enough strength that I don't think it gets all the way to VWAP on any kind of bounce. And look at that. It holds. This is why I take some profit out. It holds that halt bottom from before. Clearly, the floodgates could open up if it breaks 2050. And if this level holds this bid, oh baby, we're going long through the top and going to take a hit on the second half and reverse into the long. For the time being, it's just best to have a bit of a plan of action on that name. I just said GameStop got to 58. As quickly as I got it out of my mouth, it reversed, and we're back at 55. So I think this is, and again, I don't know what was the cause of this one, Sean, but AMC moonshotting as well. But through 49, GameStop goes $10 in a matter of minutes. This is why you have tight stops with the short. And I don't sit holding short trades longer than a minute, sometimes even 2, and always have a stop.
Yep. And that's why we talked about AMC there as well, breaking up to 6 and then coming right back. So no surprise there. Okay, this broke VWAP, so I think it's about time to get out. We can just get out of UAA Under Armour right now. It was a good trade for us, but we're pretty light on it, so I wasn't overly worried. So that's why you might see me not concerned when we were up here, because again, it's a pre-market trade. It hasn't given me any moves here to feel ways about. So right now, I'm not really super excited about UAA. So let's just dump it if we can here at 71. There it is. Comes out at 71. So a nice little trade there as we just continue to walk on water today. And it's just been a big one for us, as Neil's mentioned and I've mentioned as well. Palantir, Neo. I mean, look at this ripper, guys. Right to the day's high. Like, look at these buys. Buy here through 63. It's always nice when your buys are lower than your sells. And in this situation, yes, sir. The only stock we lost on today is Palantir, and that should have been a monster winner. So whatever. We get the bottom tick on Palantir, but we also get a nice little bottom wick right here. So crying over spilt milk there, but big win here. I'm going to try to get some out, but I'm just going to hold the rest, I think, for Neo. I was talking about Palantir, but I'm going to hold the rest for Neo as this one just keeps on going. 2% is nothing for this name. Mr. Wickens, give us
we kind of mentioned these in passing this morning, guys. These chip makers, I was just checking this day. This must have been pre-market, but just had an all-time high alert on NVIDIA. So big-time strength, guys, for NVDA. The whole group moving 578 to 592 now for NVIDIA.
How's my AMD? Yeah, 93.
Well, I mean, we talked about the sleeping giant, waking that one up yesterday when it finally broke out of that range, and then we make a test at that fresh high. Now, in the look, it did have a day that it got to almost 600 on a dime, guys. So you got to watch out for that as it is looming. And look, at 600 level on NVIDIA, it's not 900 on Tesla, but you got to know I'm going to have a look at it when it gets there. Just on the off chance there's a ridiculous amount of size. I don't think it'll be the same thing. Like a Tesla 900 or Tesla 1000 is just almost guaranteed to give you a ridiculous day trade one direction or the other. NVIDIA is not necessarily going to be the same, but we cannot ignore this when it gets there. $5 away. It's now on the radar for sure. I mean, it should have been. We talked about this pre-market, so missing the break on that's a little bit embarrassing. But as I keep saying, and I said this morning, you got to watch out. You got to make sure on a day like today that you have the right names and not too many of them, because it can get a little bit out of hand if you try to trade every single trade. I want to go back to this Viru. The reason I got out, once I missed the first move and it bottoms the low of the day, it's put in a higher low. It's still on my alert list. I will not be shorting it again at 22.75. As a matter of fact, I can cancel my stop order. I don't want that one hanging out there. But if it breaks the low of the day, I think that can be another trade for us here through 2080 is a low on Viru. If it tests the high and can hold 23.50, I'd look to roll back into that short if it gives me a shot a little bit later on in the session.
Give it, Brad.
Speaking of all-time highs, I was talking about those LiDAR companies earlier. Here's Foresight Autonomous also having quite the day, almost 15% to the upside. This is also all-time highs through 12, guys, for FRSX.
Oh, that was the other play I was looking at. Oh, yeah, the LiDAR companies. I mean, look, right space, right time. Everything's working for them. I was looking to look at AMD 93 and change. What a great call that was. I think some of us picked that up in the high 80s not too long ago, so that was a great trade for us there. Oh, I was Afria. That's what it was. Afria, yeah, making moves down, but I still like that 28.50 level there as we still hold our sundial up now 28 cents in the money. If you guys want to take a quick peek at sundial right now, 232, just hovering around here. I'm going to hold this, but, you know, I don't have too much left. I'm still waiting, like Neil is, like we all are, I think, patiently to see what happens at 250 if it does get up there. But congratulations, anybody holding sundial. Like, this was 60 cents a week ago, so now you're up to 230 and change. Woot woot on that one, a good trade there. So just keep it high side now, 240 for sundial. That may be a good out if you're impatient and you don't want to wait for that 250. It's bounced off 240 a couple times, so there is always that play coming through as well. But other than that, man, we'll just keep it rocking. Palantir, 21 cents in the money. And this is why I'm not dropping this NEO. It's at day's high right now. Shout out to Prad's dad as well, if you're watching. Thanks for giving us Prad. He's a fantastic young gentleman.
He is, and a gentleman he is, for sure. That's one of our traders actually filling in admirably for Miss V when she was on her vacation. Maybe greedy on BPTH. I did say, and I did say this, guys, I thought it might not go all the way down towards VWAP. I thought it would get to like 18 or so, or at least close to it. That ends up not being the case. So it breaks that 2050. So of course, I think, hang on to the short, like I said. But it gets to like 19, this little wick down here, 1885 technically, before turning around. So this is still looking strong, even though it breaks 2050. That kind of puts the top end break at some point later on in the future, later on in the session, I should say, in play. So 2435, I think I'd still like it. I've moved my bid down because now if it breaks this low, I might as well get a little closer to VWAP because it would show a sign of weakness. So I'm looking for about $5 on the rest of this trade. Always tread lightly in these names. On any big snap down in VWAP, it could actually start to halt on me. And if it does, I would probably just get out of it, anticipating that it could bounce either at 14 or bounce at VWAP here. And you don't want to throw away profits when you get a nice little one on this BPTH. Not to be confused with BHTG. That's the other stock that I'm in. This one, much more calm, so let's not remotely get them confused. It's just sliding down. I'm just short off of this little pop, shorting every pop into $4 and then scalping some out in front of 340, whatever the current low is. Right now, that's 330, so I should definitely get some more bids out in front of that. And then, previous close at 260. It has to break 3 before it gets there, and I'll definitely take profit in front of that, guys.
Okay, so Batman came in the building a little bit here. Oops, hit the wrong one. But Afria goes up. We get long at 50 there, and we get out at 75. But we still are holding some. So that's the caveat right now with Afria, as we are long. But look at this thing, man. This is why, honestly, I really only like CGC, and I should have stuck with it. But that's okay. This is a violent name, so we're going to give it back down to 27. We'll average in one time here, 27.50 or so, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. But we're going to dump this if it breaks through 27. And here it comes right back to the high side again. We're long at 28.50. Well, you could see on the board there for Afria. So we're going to keep teaching and keep talking here. Sundial right up to that 40. You can get out if you want on that one. NEO still that $1.20 in the money. Oh, new trade alert here. We got an idea about GM, so let's see now if that breaks through 53.60. Still looking at this 53.80 level. Oh, you know what? That hit, and it should not have. So yeah, there's we get hit on this. I didn't even realize that. We actually wanted this break, 53.50. So that GM is not a trade that we really want to get to have there. So maybe we'll dump a little bit, but this is the real call, 53.90 there on GM. So we may be in trouble on this one. Bad stop order there triggered. F that. 53.10 the bottom. Shoot. What's up, Ren?
Another one from the cannabis group. I haven't heard of this one, but Clever Leafs, L-E-A-F-S Holding, which is a CBD-focused company. They have a new manufacturing and distribution deal in the U.S. for CBD products. CLVR, guys.
Yeah, no, for me, no. I mean, I've heard a lot of marijuana or cannabis names, not that one. There's so many new entrants into this market, guys. So just watch out for all of that. But that's another name there. CLVS, you said? No, that's Clovis. That's CLVR, yeah, Clover. Okay. The other one's Clovis Oncology. Sorry about that.
And there was the bounce on Sundial. Now I said 220, and VWAP was 222. I guess when it's this strong, 225 should have been the play, but it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers. It is making that march up to 250. I can tell you I haven't had a good look at it just yet. But 240, on the other hand, does have, and it's not that much. It's only like 2 million shares or so. I think it's going to get chewed through. 250 is a big one. I'm guessing it could have like 5 million shares on the offer. And if that's the case, I will be shorting 48, 49. Obviously, if you're not going to be able to access the liquidity at 250, because I wouldn't use a stop order there. Like if it breaks, if I short 48, 49, and see if I can scroll down here. This is what I see right now. It looks like 4 or 5 million. It actually could be more than that. I'm not letting it break 50 and then saying if 51 triggers, I'm going to buy up to 55. No way, no how. I am getting out on that 50 level. Like I'm taking those shares for whatever I have short and not holding long through. I might, maybe even reversing to the long side. So that's going to be the plan of action. There's plenty of liquidity to be had, but it's a monster level at 250, just like it was at 150 yesterday. Brendan?
Pacific Biosciences, we've had a couple of genome-related stocks making moves of late. Looks like SoftBank, guys, making an investment into this one, which is Pacific Biosciences, PACB. So all-time highs here for PACB as well, through $50 there on a huge volume spike.
Yes, sir. I guess I must have got hit on Palantir there, and I didn't even put a stop order out, I don't think. No, I do not. So now we have this Palantir trade, which is fine. 37. We were just trying to protect that 37, and then we were going to use some of these lower outs as our outs, but now we can use 36.50 here as our out on Palantir, and it's not looking great, guys. This stock just falling down. Look at the futures. But yeah, 36.50 down here, yesterday's bottom. Let's not get wicked out and go a little bit lower than that, but Palantir here slipped into this one. Didn't notice that I had a bid, but we were trying to defend that 37 level, and like we say all the time, no excuses, but we are managing a lot of positions, so we'll have to manage this one now. Palantir, I may just get out of this one if we can. We're only long at 36.97. Let's take a bit of risk off here right now.
Yeah, and let's watch out for this BPTH as well. Like I said, sometimes you get a little bit greedy. If it cannot roll over here, I'm looking at this 22.30-ish top. I got 80s to the short side, and I scalped some out, so we're in the money on this trade, and we've already taken profit on it. But if it cannot bounce to VWAP, I got to go ahead and cancel this bid here and say this low at 18.20. If it bounces shy of it, I got to look at like 19 as a new out. So forget about $5. It's too strong for that. I'm probably going to get something more along the lines of a $3 to $4 winner, I think, at best. And if it goes further than that, fine. I can live with that. The strength that it's shown, I still have the bid. I am going to go long through that high of the day, 24.35. It's showing entirely too much strength not to make that same play, which we made that look yesterday on AUVI, I think it was, or is it AUVI at around like 11 o'clock. And BPTH is sort of, it's got the same feeling. I'm not saying it's going to do the exact same thing, but it's got the same feelings to it where even a good short just can't seem to follow through, which tells you all you need to know about the long. I mean, if you were basically just buying any of these dips, I mean, you're up a heck of a lot more than the one short trade I have in, which is a winner.
So we're averaging into Afria right now. As you guys can see, we just picked up a little bit more. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit to help you look. A little bit more here in Afria. We just picked some up. So on the downside, we're going to use that 27 break, like we said. So you can see here that the net is 28, not the net, the average price, 28.27. So we're only out of the money here, 50 cents. But we're going to watch out for that one. And we're going to average in more. I'm just going to use this 27 as a bottom. I think we can get some longs here, the 20s or so on this name. So we're going to watch out for Afria right now. Hopefully going back to the upside, which it looks like it is. Our last average there, what was that by? 85s. So basically just right here. But look at how crazy this name is, man. Very, very violent today. That's Afria and everything. I mean, Tilray's going crazy. SNDL, that's right up to that 50 again, guys, up to 45 and stopping. So again, if you want to take out some profits, I think you could probably do that close to now on SNDL, because this is a big mover and it's stopped a couple times now, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like almost basically 3 or 4 tops here. That's normally a sign that we need to get the other way.
Yeah, and look, GameStop is back on the move. We talked about this trade maybe slowing down. Well, I mean, here it goes again. It just bounced off 51 at VWAP here, so I'm going to file that price away. It was a 50 break that was missed earlier, and I don't want to miss a 51 break if it does come down. If it tries to make a push to this 58 high, I'm sort of looking at each of these 56.50 one top and this one, which we're currently at 54. If it turns off this, and again, tight stops, make sure you can get out if you're short a name like this. Any rollover, it gives me a 53.50 entry, something around there, but it's got to test and fail. Then down into VWAP, I would try to play that trade as quickly as I can. It would take getting the price that I want, but also it cannot break. If it breaks 54, I'm not making the trade. If it holds it here, I'm looking to catch it on the way down, not standing in front of the train, but sort of looking to get in when it makes a reversal.
Okay, and yeah, good little look there. Our Palantir guys back in now, so we're going to wait on Palantir and see if we can't do something with that one. There it is right there. Again, we were defending that 37 level. It dropped down a little bit too far. We're using 36.50, so we did get a little more out there on Palantir, so we're going to have to wait now just to see what that wants to do, because it does go to 37 even there, 37.10. I think that would have been a decent out. We're long at 91, so we're just long right here, but you know, that was a good out. Probably put us in orders there. See if we can't capture that 25 cents or 20 cents on Palantir if it does get back there. But I think a run to VWAP could probably happen, and then 37.70 next stop after that. But the first stop needs to hit. Afria, we weren't able to get more, but here it comes right back to the high side. So we could be in the money very soon. 28.27. A good hold here on Afria, guys. Good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I got to go back to Tilray if I can for a split second. It's getting range bound, which, I mean, the idea that Tilray is going to hold a range like this around VWAP, it's basically zero, given the volatility it's had. So you have to start thinking about what's your plan when it breaks out of this. If you're looking for like a 61 breakout, something along those lines, that could be a little bit messy. I'd much prefer, it tried to dip down here, and of course, as I say this, it's going to be the 61 break probably. I'd much prefer it dip down, try to hold this 56, and then catch it back through like a 57.50. That just feels like a much safer play to me. But front of the mind, look, I'm going to be watching Tilray while this happens, but front of the mind is going to be Sundial at 250. It's making another push. You can already see I'm already ready because I've seen the level at 250. I'm already ready at 48 and 49. I will not let 50 break. That's, I think, crazy. But either way, it has to get through 245 first, which that's 1.5 million shares on the offer, maybe even 2 million. And I don't think it's going to have too much trouble getting through that and then testing the 250. So people that are shorting this level, when they get out or punch out that are making the same play, I'm going to make it 250. Hopefully that gets me in at 48, 49, and then I can use that 50 as a bit of cover. And I think the reversal, even if you take 2 cents on a 250 long, you can just have as many shares as you want, right? So going to have that. It looks like it's coming any second now. Here's 46, 47. 250 is the key one, and this is the level I'm looking at. Still about 4 million showing, and I guarantee it's more than that, guys. Probably like 5 or 6.
Let's just read Batman because that's what we're discussing right now. And look at Afria go. Beautiful trade, man. We're long 28.08. We just got out 85s there. That's 85 on the high side. So a nice little 90-cent win. Forget about Sundial. I mean, I have Sundial. It's a 50-cent winner. But how about this one? How about Afria? 90 cents now, or was 90 cents, 80 cents now in the money. And we took some out there. So Afria just continuing to cash for us as our day just continues to go 7 times daily goal now to the upside. So that's a big day for us. You're going to hear me talk about that often. And here we go. It's coming back down, though. I guess Sundial looking at 50, though, Neil. Oh, small cap recap. Sundial at 50, but we'll be back after Brendan hits us right now. Sundial just touched 50, guys. What's up?
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. We'll have a look at a little bit quieter today in small cap world, but we'll talk about this one first. ITRM, we mentioned this the past couple of days, actually. 2 days in a row, you can see on the daily chart to the upside, we got up to 275, 280. If you zoom out to yesterday's price action, mid-morning throughout the afternoon, 235 to 240 ended up being a level, so just working off of 235 and 240, starting to come back to the downside. Little moves, but worth paying attention to. This one, however, was crazy. I mentioned this one when it halted through 22.75, opens above 24. You get a flush to 23. My plan on this was 22.75. You can see why, and then above that 23. So we got the move into 22.75. It opens $2 higher. So a loser for me today, but it did end up giving you that trade once it did start moving a little bit more orderly, but very, very thin. So be careful. Volatile name AUVI. Second day in a row. BHTG. The easiest one by far, so far today anyways. 475, 485 up here from the pre-market. If we got to move into this this morning, I would have had a lot more, but 420, 440 ended up being a consolidation. We're now at $3, so $1.20, guys, for BHTG. Back over to you.
I was gonna do like a who's your daddy chant because I was happy about this like Sundial trade, and then I saw the price that Brennan has in BHTG, which quite frankly is a little better than 371 short, which I thought was pretty solid, but it clearly is a piling load of you know what, extrament. Well done on that trade, Brennan. That was 420. You get better than 420? You're kidding me. But we talked about this Sundial at 250. Suckers bet 245. Forget about 1.5 million shares on the offer. Be concerned with the 5 million, maybe even a little bit more than that we saw at 250. Got 48s and 49s. You can see scalping it out. You make this kind of a trade, it's because you're risking 2 cents, and I'm looking to make 5 to 10 on that move, guys. And if it goes further, it goes further. But the bulk of it, if it bounces off 40 and comes right back, I want to get back in again and again until it finally breaks. That's why I will always take profit and not regret the fact that I only have 10% of it left as it just broke through that 40 mark, guys. And got to get some more shares out here. But there you go, Sundial. 250 lined up. We knocked it out of the park. I'm going to go with the Wiz, I think is what we're calling this one. So there you go. We'll coin that one from Sean. I like it. Why not the Wiz? That's also, I mean, wasn't it like a Michael Jackson movie? I don't know, whatever. Who cares?
No, I don't know about that. Okay, 27.50 there. We just picked up some more Afria. We dumped it all off here. Good out there, good out there, good out there. So making money on this name as well as SNDL. You guys know that. So good trading there. Good trade by Neil off that 50 short. And that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Things aren't going to moonshot forever, guys. So you do got to try to get some while they're hot and not while they're not. So here comes Africa to the downside. We're going to watch out for a 27 break, but we're just jamming right now with it. So it's okay for us on that trade. So we're waiting for Africa to go high side there. If it can come in, that's great. Our GM was a mistake to get in. So we got in and we got out there for flat. And I was going to hold that last piece until a 53 break. And that's exactly what happened. So bad earnings for GM today. I'm wondering if this is an opportunity to pick up some more stock, honestly, of GM today. I love the stock, but look at what's happening in the market. Puke City right now. So you got to watch out here. They just erased gains down 5.
Monster.
Yeah, monster moves down here in the market, guys. We got to get short something. Maybe Brendan, what's up?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, guys, huge move down in the markets here. Keeping my eye out, not seeing anything yet. Keep in mind, the impeachment trial continues today, so any headlines could have this effect on the market. So going to keep my eye out. Nothing yet, but heads up on the market.
Okay.
So, I mean, I actually just missed, GameStop came just crashing through that 51. I didn't catch it. If it does give me any kind of a bounce, maybe off of the 50, I'll take it. Sundial just broke 230, guys.
Holy
so now sitting like 20 pennies in the money, and I really don't have too much left. It's actually less than that 10% amount. So either way, big time movement affecting basically everything. Tilray down to 54 and crushing lows.
What is going on here?
There wasn't even I just tried to catch this on a bounce on GameStop at like 49.5. I can go ahead and cancel that order because as fast as these things went up, they just came down in a heartbeat. I'm holding on to a couple of shorts here, but man, I couldn't get anything new.
Yeah, big crash in the market. We don't see anything here. We did get in and out there of NEO by accident, and I should have held the short. I mean, we shorted 61s there. That was to protect this position, which we got out. I mean, look at these. Sometimes you get out and you're just great. Lucky on that one. Breakthrough VWAP. We had no idea this was about to happen. Damn it. Should have held that short that I didn't mean to have there. So we get in and out, quickly enter there. And so that's that last position. The only thing we have is Sundial right now. And I'd like to go short, but I am also waiting to see if there's any kind of news on this one. I don't see anything.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
Tilray still ripping, but coming back in now. Twitter might be a good one to look at as Twitter trying to fall down a bit here.
It's actually getting ugly here. And I mean, I'm looking at C3 AI because that was one stock that just came to front of the mind because of the bounce that it had made. This just came down 20 bucks from the top. So this is basically across the board. I'm still hanging on. This kind of situation where I had some bids on Sundial because remember that 220 we were talking about? I did get filled at 22, and then I'm like, well, if it's going to come down to 2 bucks, let's let it happen and see if we can't hold on to the rest of it. And I wish it was more shares, but it just ultimately isn't going to be. If it can bounce at 2, maybe we'll have a look, but this market is starting to come off rather heavily, and I just want to anticipate that it can come further. It's getting a little bit crazy. So I want to look at Pack B, which was relatively strong, and Brendan brought the same to you. So when I see a push down like that, what was relatively strong and push in the morning? And Pack B was one of those. It's bouncing off 47 right now. If it can hold up here and we get a bounce in the market, let's look for maybe this name with a 47 stop, guys. 47 even stop.
Okay, guys, we just made a beautiful trade there while Neil was talking about finding a stock to pick, and I just went over to Twitter. Strong stock. Bang! Yes, sir. Nice little trade there on Twitter. Good idea there because we go right over to Twitter. We get a lot of shares down here, 65.33, and that's why you see me rapidly dumping them there. Bang, 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 bang. Let's now hold it to see how high we can go. There you go, another out there, 70. A beautiful 40-cent win right now on Twitter and still making more highs. Like, this is what we're doing, man. We're picking up stocks that we know are strong on the day and then just reaping the benefits of this move to the high side now. So we go right back to the high side now on Twitter. We're not right back. I mean, you can get a lot higher than this, but what a great trade that turned out to be there for me. Long 65.30, I think I have 35, and now we're going into the 80s now. So good trade. Let's take a little bit more off, but Twitter right now rocking and rolling with a 50-cent win off that bounce. And
look, and this is one thing you have to do and call it like we were both sitting in our office during the flash crash, and this is not a flash crash, but the first thing you got to think about is when the dust settles and things slow down and calm down a little bit, what do you want to go to? So I did get some Pack B here, 48, just above 48, I mean 48.13. Ignore some of these dark pool prints that are going higher. If it can, on the way down there was some consolidation at 49, so if I can get some out in front of 49, try to hold through to 50. That's going to be the name of the game there, guys. But look. And we talk about the futures, I should probably show you exactly what happened here on the NASDAQ is it erased all of those gains right through into, like, you go back to the start of the week here, that low, that 13.6 before, I mean, it whipped through it before bouncing. So that's a big time move into the downside. You got to be careful about which names you pick up. So I wanted to make sure I had something which had the momentum, which was very, very strong. Pack B, thank you, Brendan. The first thing I looked at was C3 AI, which is I don't know why I went there. It was just the top of my mind. But Pac B and now into that one. Brendan?
Yeah, that was very strange, guys. I don't see, usually, this long after a move like that, somebody would say something, but I don't see anything. Westwater Resources here, a group that has been very, very strong. These clean energy stocks, huge volume came in, and I mean huge volume came in at $9 at the bottom of that flush on the buy side. So looks like they're taking this opportunity to maybe buy some clean energy stocks, guys.
Okay, Afria fell down. We got out, so now we're just going to watch that one. This was a good move, though, guys. Twitter, look at this, guys. $1 now in the money on Twitter. So a nice little call from the bottom there, obviously, and we'll watch to see if that can still make some moves high side there, and that's Twitter. We're dumped. We're out of 2/3. No, we're out of 3/4 of this trade right now, but a nice little move now, 80 cents in the money. That was my little trick there to buy on the bottom. So we did take some that, and good trade. So a nice little move to the high side there. And we just go over to something that was strong, and Twitter's been strong all day, right? So you guys know that. So there it comes right back to the high side, up 10+%. Good little bottom pick there on Twitter. Unfortunately, that Afria didn't work out as much as we wanted it to. So I still think that we could probably pick some up on the high side. That joke, I mean, can't stop using that. 27.50 maybe, but let's let the market settle down as it looks like it's coming back downside.
And so BPTH, now I said it showed some strength. Now, obviously, when the market dumps like that, I can't see that one coming. If I had a chance, I probably would have canceled this bid and gone back to thinking it's going to go to VWAP. But look, the reality is you're not going to be angry when you get a $4 win in a stock like this. So I'll take it. I'll be happy. It was an original VWAP that I would have liked the retracement to. And it halted. It actually, look at this. It just reopens, bouncing off VWAP. This is exactly why. I mean, holding through halts is just... I don't know. I mean, there's upside to it, certainly, if you're in the right direction. But, I mean, it bounces right off that 1720 mark. So as long as it wants to hold these bounces in VWAP, that's going to be a big level here. If it takes this out downside, now calling it like 17 even, I'll probably short the 17 even break at this point. That seems like a good one for me, playing with some house money there in BPTH, but tread lightly. I'm going to cancel my order to go long through the high of the day after another downside halt. So it's like 2 times it's managed to hold level to the top side. And if 17 breaks, you will see me go into the short for the first time on a breakdown trade as opposed to sort of getting in on consolidation.
Yeah, Twitter, we just dumped some more at the 80s there as it looked like it was coming back down. Let's just watch this 66 level in case this move is not real, guys. So just a little bit nervous now, but again, we're now 20%. So we are very, very light here on Twitter. So let's not get too carried away. And then our SNDL, great little trade there by Neil, obviously. We just talked about that. And now you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, what is the next move for SNDL? And I don't know, maybe we retest that 50 again. But sometimes when the air gets out of these stocks, man, and they've shown their face, it may not come back up here as it's failed up there. Great short. Now right back down to VWAP. So I'm just watching this like a hawk, but we are very, very light on this one. So I still have the same trades from the open, guys, 203, and you're just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, and so got my order ready to go in that BPTH. It looks like it's going to test that 17. I was actually just going to go back to Pac B because, I mean, the market looking like it might continue this move. And as quickly as we were able to take a buck, it reverses. I'm basically going to take it out on that fresh low. So I'm not going to fight the market on this. If we're headed southbound, so be it. I'm hanging on to a couple of decent shorts. I still have some of that sundial. I'm looking for a place to maybe even get back into it. I thought maybe it'd go a little closer to that 240 mark, but it stalled at a 235. Brendan?
That was all-time highs that we turned at. We got there in the pre-market, obviously, but that was all-time highs that we turned at. And now heading southbound in a hurry, guys. But still, no news headlines. BGI here, quick one. They have a COVID-19 test kit that just got EU approval. So up 25% again today. It's been on a 3 or 4 day run for BGI. 10:30, that means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, Valeria?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mostly in a positive territory on the positive earnings and stimulus hopes. Societe Generale trading in Paris is up more than 3% after beating profit forecasts for the fourth quarter. Back to the traders.
Yeah, earnings across the board doing pretty well so far, guys. It was 78% I saw aftermarket yesterday to the upside so far in the U.S.
And oh, man. Literally, as I say it there,
market crashing
again. I was just looking at sundial through 25, and I couldn't even catch it. I mean, if it gives me a shot, maybe I'll take a little bit at 23. It seems crazy shorting this bottom here, but the amount of just the sheer amount of sell-side volume it's a little bit nuts, and to not be involved at all if this is going to go back to $2. And I'm watching this low here at 220 and thinking to myself, how can I not be involved here, at least fading in front of it? And if it, look, here's the bid, if I can quickly show you, it's not even that much. If it's going to break, I'm going to see if I can't take some more shares. My average price now 22s because I've had to take it a couple of times, and if it breaks, I wanted to have some. On the way down to, got to show it to you, this is too even. I still have bids from before that have been sitting at like 213 and 202. So let's see what happens, guys. Tilray back to 50, I just heard someone yell.
Yeah, that was Prad, Trader Prad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look at Afria. I mean, everything's falling down on this one, and I wish, again, that I was able to take some out as I realized that I had way more Afria shares in my portfolio than I thought, but up to 32, now back down to 25, man. These weed names are definitely pulling back today, and you guys can see that one with Afria coming back down, and we just got the note there on Tilray, TLRY. Yeah, right back down to 50, man. That ticked out at 68. This is kind of like those YOLO stocks again, kind of like meme weed stocks today. Neil talked about that earlier, I think before the show, that this is like the new game in town. So watch out here. Just protect everything you have here, on the weed space. If you want to get out, capture some profits, because this has been a violent move downside.
The crazy thing here, and look, I get it. These are all up so much, and you can look at the trade. I mean, the trade on sundown and what it's been doing. And when I stopped being so aggressive short was when it kept bouncing and showing you this trend. But yeah, it's a little bit parabolic. That's why you get unwinds like this. And I flip to, okay, let's just start shorting it when it hit 250. But these are at least still companies that have revenue for the most part. Some of them are pretty good. So you're gonna, if this extends any further, you guys at least start thinking about where the longs might be. Probably still room to run. Pure momentum play through 220. I started getting out 18, 15, 12, 13. I got the bottom. I still have some bids from earlier. I'm still hanging on to half of it. All I have left is my 220 short, in which case I'll probably give it back to VWAP in that 25 mark before thinking about a reload. But it's just, you don't want to look that, as I like to say, gift horse in the mouth. I'm not going to hit it. I'm going to hit the gates of hell because I like that new graphic. But it's basically been that for the long trade since that 250 mark, and that was just too much for it to churn through. Definitely the follow through had more to do with the market flush than anything else. So we'll definitely get a little bit lucky to have added on this little push to the downside. I want to go back to the other position that I have on, or sorry, had on, and that's going to be that Pack B. And this is why I get out. Like, it's just still consolidating off that low and actually feeling like it might want to test down towards that 45. If this does not hold up here, I would look to see if the bottom might be on 45 on Pack B. Here comes 225 on Sundial. This is where I would like to be reloading, and no other price here right at VWAP, guys.
Okay, and yeah, we're back into this name again on Afria. So let's take a shot. It breaks through 26. Let's see if it can get itself back to the promised land here. Look, we talked about what's been happening there on Tilray. So let's see if Afria can try to hold it right now on the high side, breaking. We're long at 26.05 right now. So that's going to be an exciting one for us. No idea what it's going to do here, but that's Afria right now on that high note for us. So we're going to watch it. We're going to see. I'm going to use 25 as a bottom there, and just to see if some of these weed names can't pick it back up to the high side. Here it goes now. 26.05 long, moving now, 17 cents in the money. So a good little trade here, but it needs to go further. Let's see if we can't make some of this money back. Why not have a 27 target? This thing can go $1, right? What's up, Bren?
All right, among the leaders to the downside, if you're looking for some weakness, guys, NVCN, huge day higher yesterday, and then they come out with an offering in the pre-market this morning, obviously. So we've gone from 310 to 170 here, pushing lows for NVCN.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually looking at the somewhat relative strength coming back to Tilray off the bottom. And I see VWAP here. Of course, I did take it. And just watch out, BPTH got back into that name as well. But if we don't hold this, and BPTH, that's a 17 break. So I get some out in front of 16, so almost a quick dollar winner. And I was saying, if we don't hold this 26, 27 area, I was just going to get out for a very tight stop on Sundial here. Just I did not want this breaking back to the upside, and I did see Tilray try to get back through 55. Thankfully, it didn't. It did not in my particular case. But I got to start thinking about being a little more aggressive, taking this out for maybe. Look, 250 was a big move, and it gave you like 25 cents on the first run. I was able to get like a quick 10, 15 cent move there. The last time on Sundial around 220. I'm not thinking the same thing here. I got basically a 24 half short, and it might be back to scalping it for 4 or 5 cents. And that's the better way to play it for some safety. Hang on to like 10 to 20% for the bigger move. as the futures are trying to make a bit of a bottom here, and it's like I said, I don't want to get caught too aggressively short on these names when there is some momentum to the upside in the last few days here.
Yep, exactly. Good call there, Neil. Look, we're just basically looking out here for everybody. And look, we should have scalped it out. And that's why I say good call to Neil there. We should have, guys, scalped out this Afria because it was nicely in the money for us off that 26 long. And now it's just fading back in. So we talked about some of these YOLO weed stocks, guys. And it looks like that's sort of what's happening right now to these names. You know, people are just taking shots and they're moving a lot here, and I just think the price that these guys have gone in the last couple of days has just been crazy to the high side. So watch out here. Very, very interested to see what happens at this 25 mark, but that's going to be our out. So we're waiting for Afria. I still think it has some upside surprises to it. I just don't know when that's going to happen. So just be patient.
I'm waiting for time to use this one, and I'm going to do it right now. Punching poo-poo, punching poo-poo. This stock, and again, if the stock is up on news and does parabolic moves, you wait for the halt. I gave you the 17 break. I should have maybe held that short in 17 the first time. 17 breaks, able to get 80 cents out the first look. Second out here is going to give me about $1.20. Hanging on to see if it can retest $14. That will give me about a $2.50 winner. On pullbacks, it has held this price on dips, a couple of times, at least once in the pre-market and once since the open. So that's the next look on BPTH. It'll be 14 even. Next stop for you guys is going to be over at the big screen with Brendan for our Sector Watch.
Hey guys, you have that time? Let's have a look at the S&P 500. We did go red, but not all that bad, only down to about 0.4%. We're back to 0.27% right now on the S&P 500. Violent move, though, green to red there on the overall market. You can see anytime you have the real estate, little tiny real estate sector holding up the market, might be in a little bit of trouble here, but this is the only group right now you can see in positive territory. And I mean the entire thing is positive on the day. So as far as weakness is concerned, let's start with consumer discretionary stocks. Under Armour here, you can trade the A class or you can trade UA, both up about 7% still after that earnings report. Everything else, yeah, red in a hurry here. You can see Etsy, 3.6%. Expedia holding up nicely, 2.6% to the upside. GM, 5.5% in negative territory. Look at Tesla today, 4.8% lower, 2.6% for Ford downside as well. So consumer discretionary stocks are in negative territory. Akamai here, 10% in negative territory in the software group. They reported as well. Not so good for AKAM. TYL, 7%, kind of offsetting some of that. Cisco here, 4.6% in negative territory after earnings as well. NTAP, STX, CDW, to name a few in the hardware equipment makers. Semis not really doing much. They are red, but overall the move's not that big. Material stocks, communication stocks as well, offsetting each other today. There are a few here. There's Twitter, still 9% higher. But you can see lots of red in these groups anyway, so offsetting each other. Heads up, if you're watching any of the energy stocks, we did get oil inventories there. They were a little bit better than expected. Don't see them on here at the moment, but energy stocks were a little bit strong. But only 0.3%, so not all that bad. Just a violent move to the downside, guys.
Yeah, I'd say it's just a little bit violent. And you talked about UAA there, which brings me up to this point here that we talked about with UAA. Look at this out right there on VWAP, guys. Like, that's part of the plan, right? That has to be in your book. You have to be able to get in and out of shares so that you don't absorb these big hits, right? And sometimes we'll take hits that are unexpected. But like when you're realizing that maybe that high is in, and then you get a technical indicator that you trust, like that VWAP, that you could definitely have that right there. So a good out, saving us this heartache of some downside. So, okay, that was UAA. Good little battle there. We did take the position earlier in the pre-market, out there on VWAP, and that's just how we trade. Someone asked us, what indicators do we use? Really, I just have volume weighted average price. I do have volume down here just to see if there's any like unusual spikes coming through, because sometimes those can be good indicators as well. But for me, it's basically just a VWAP trade right through. So good little move that back to the downside there. And then there goes Afria. Again, we tried it, guys. It breaks through, and we get out. So I was holding for a little bit higher. We did have it. Like, we had 26.05. It goes to 50, and we just were holding for more. So didn't come in. That is a loss again on Afria there today. Only good trades on SNDL for me in the marijuana space.
I mean, Yeah, as you say that, Sean, I'm sitting there wanting to say to myself, good, you pat yourself on the back for Sundial, but I just finished saying getting a little more aggressive on that VWAP short and taking it out for, let's try to get those 5-cent winners again, because maybe it's calming down and the futures continue to crash, and maybe I should have held on to it. I'm sort of thinking about this one here, like in real time, right? Like you had the market crashing on you here. You had a double top on Sundial. You had Tilray crashing, and it was just money selling at 250. This was a deep pullback level where a lot of buyers were sort of long that 220 to 225. So when I find myself in the short in front of it, and then it basically tests a couple of pennies higher, that's really just not enough reason to get out of it so shallow. I should have at least held it to 210. I'm just basically thinking out loud on this one because I don't love the fact that I was in the right direction and the momentum was with me, and yet my first instinct was just to take the quick profit after holding much longer on the 250 shorts. Anyways, that's just me going through in my head. And now we're going down to that $2 level. I'm not even sure if there's an amount of size I could see at 2 even that would make me want to go long in front of it, but I'm going to check anyways. Can't really see that level just yet. Wait till it gets closer. I mean, it would have to be more than I saw in the offer at 250, given the way this is coming down overall in the market, guys. It's a crazy flush. I do have a couple of shorts on right now. That BPTH, of course, which has been a crazy high flyer today, and now that it's rolled over, I don't even have a bid out at 14. I normally would, because if this breaks through 14, this could be back at 10. Easily could be back at $10, guys. It was a $5 stock recently, and I'm short here at 16.92. If it breaks 17 back up, I get out. If it breaks 14, I hold for 10s. If it bounces off 14, I probably look to just get out somewhere in the 15 range for a $2 winner, guys.
Oh, man. Yeah, look, we keep talking about this market and it's cracking right now. So watch out to the downside here, as you guys can easily see. But NEO makes a beautiful bump back up. Like, it just retraces huge there on some of those moves. So I'm going to be watching out for that. And we'll see if we can't pick some up here on the downside for a retracement back up if we do get this market bumping right now. So, yeah, just trying to find maybe 61.40 or so right here. Not a horrible spot in between. We did tick down to there, so that's why that's that 61.20 bottom. Let's try a long through 61.20 if that can come on NEO for just a little bit of a bump back higher. See if we can get that one, guys. 61.20 coming on NEO, but look at this market now down 1%. Yuck. What's up, Brent?
One of the worst off here, guys. Tesla so far just getting, punished hard. We're back to 800 on Tesla. We're at 846 in the pre-market. Elon Musk tweeted that he bought Dogecoin today. So Tesla in trouble here, guys.
Okay, I wonder what Dogecoin. I mean, maybe if you have that on Icon, we can find out what that's doing, because I don't have that. I have Cardano and I have which is ADA, Bitcoin is BTC, and then of course Ether are my big ones. Some Stellar Lumens as well. Okay, and Ripple XRP. What am I doing? Okay, still looking at this one. I still like this NEO for a bounce, man. That's my idea right now. Let's see if it hits 61.20.
Yeah, I mean, you say 800. I mean, you could have said 900, and I'd probably be at least a little bit involved here. I literally just missed the bounce at 801. I tried to pick some up. I had an 801.15 bid. If it comes down again, I'm talking about Tesla here. I want to make sure that I have my stop order to cover myself to the downside. I do not want to miss my out if it retests that low. But as he mentioned it, I'm like, why didn't I think about Tesla? We've talked about 800 multiple times here, and it just gave you to a dime. Wait for that 800 level, and there it is. So it's a missed shot. I think if it comes again, I probably have to be at least a little bit more aggressive. Man, 801. You just could have had 801s as I was talking about it here. But either way, let's see if it comes back down. I'll defend that one a second time. Probably not as good as the first. I mean, if it crashes through this, going to be aggressive on my order. That's 100% sure to make sure we get that fill.
Yeah, it's basically just one and done here. We'll see if it comes to that 800 again.
Yeah.
Good spot there. I think Brendan, whoever brought that to everybody's attention, thanks for that, and good look there. I'm trying to do the similar thing here on NEO, just trying to catch some bottoms. But ultimately, man, I mean, we could try right now and then use this as a bottom. I'd rather take it on the way up. We just rejected that 61.20, which lets me believe that there's a little bit of something there, at least at 61.20. So we'll see if we can get that to the high side there. But that's going to be my play. I know, Neil, you're looking at that Tesla. There has to be other things, man. Let's check out what Afria is doing now. Wow. This was up like 30% today. What? This has come down $10 today. Big moves on Afria. Wow, if you guys have that one, congratulations if you have the short. If you had the long like I do, then that's not a great trade.
Yeah, and I mean, we start thinking about some of the more stable type of names. You look at like a Disney here, down now 1% on the session. You know, it's been strong before, still holding this breakout price. I mean, previous highs at that 184, right? So you look for like what kind of levels can you sort of have confidence in when you see moves like this? And I think, you know, something like that previous breakout price that you see at 184 on Disney is going to look good to me. Now, I know we're not there, and it would take another push to the downside for it to get there, but I look for relative strength. It's now basically with the market at 1%. So in the event of a bounce, Disney looks pretty good so long as we've held that 184 price. So I still have that bid on Tesla. We probably missed it. We're back up to 809. If Tesla had been the first thing I looked to, we'd probably have that long in front of 800. I'll still take it if it comes down there again, but you know, the first time is certainly going to be a charm if you had it once. Disney's now on my radar as well. Looking, if it goes any further down the market, 184 on Disney's another look for me.
Yeah, what about one more time here on Afria? We'll try it one more time and see if we could just get back to flat on the stock here. We'll take this 2370 here if it does break. It's trying to form out a little bit here. I can't believe the move that's happened. Basically 32 down to 23. So maybe there's some pressure that's going to get relieved here. If we can get this 2370, that's going to be a look for me on, here it comes. There we go. So we got long now. No, we got long Neo now. And we got long Afria. So here we go, Neo. 6120. Let's see how far this one wants to go. It doesn't look like it wants to go anywhere except for down right now. So 6120 is that call. We're not going to let it go past this 60-63 right now. If it breaks that, maybe we can give it to the very bottom, whatever. We'll see. Maybe 60-50 there on a mental spot, but watch out. Neo long and Afria finally making moves back to the high side at least. And
you know what? I absolutely love this community. Just looking at GDX here, and I wasn't even watching this. So yeah, gold down, GDX down, Bitcoin down to 4,400, market down. This is one of those things where sometimes, and this has been happening. We've seen this. We saw this all throughout last year, where you see basically everything come off at the same time, and some of the old relationships and markets off just aren't there. So this is quite sort of broad stroked, but as I say that rapidly and excitedly, the NASDAQ is down 1%. The ES is down 0.5% on the session.
Yeah.
So as much as you guys are seeing how far this is falling off, I know there are big moves happening. I mean, Tesla down at 800, and you're looking at Tilray and Afria pullback. Keep in mind where they've come from. Keep in mind where the actual market is at, and it's like, when we're getting excited about a 2% reversal and the market being down 1%, it kind of says something about the environment that we're in. So take a deep breath and try to remember exactly what's happening here. Yes, I know we're going down, but it's not that crazy. That's why I'm looking at that Disney and was looking at that Tesla. And everybody should be looking at Brendan at the big screen now, because money talks. Let's see what's going on in that land of currency.
Hey guys, yeah, not a heck of a lot. We'll talk about currencies here. You can see pretty muted at the top end of the board. We are mixed overall. The British pound, Japanese yen higher, the euro higher as well versus the US dollar, everything else to the downside. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Yeah, it's come off significantly. 48 and change, 48,000 and change overnight, all-time high, all the way back to 44,128 right now, 154. So a $4,000 move. Hard to think of, but 6.7% to the downside for Bitcoin today. Yeah, in negative territory. Ethereum following suit as well, back to 1,700 here. Was a significant level on the way up, 1,700, so a heads up, 3.8%. 2% though higher for Ripple, Sean, 48 cents now for Ripple, but everything else relatively unchanged, guys.
Wow, 2 big cents there. Yeah, it sounds a little bit small compared to that 4G move there in BTC. Okay, so Afria, good call here. It looks like 2370. It's at 25. So yes, sir, we make it back. $1.20 now. Wow, it's still running. $1.20 now. We're out a little bit more in the money now. And look at Neo. Let's go. Let's moonshot here if we can get it. We called this trade. Bang! Yes, sir. We go back. No LFT, our highest spot we've been at all day. We pick out the bottom on some of these plays, and there we go, guys. Right to the upside. NIO making us a winner once again here. See how far this one can go on a market rebound.
And there goes 2 even. As quickly as it went down, look, this is all scalping. 2 even breaks. I get 98s a couple times. I get 98.5 as well. Then all the way down to the 192 bottom. As soon as it goes down, it comes right back to the upside. So quick in and out trade for me, guys. It's just one of those situations that's almost too good to be true, where you get the liquidity because you don't always get shares on that breakdown. We're able to catch them there, and look how fast the rebound is. So as Sean was mentioning, Afria and Tilray coming back the upside, that is correct. Look at what happened on Sundial. If you don't take profit on a breakdown trade like that, it's crazy because you'd be out of the money just as much as you would have made, and it's just come off from 250. How much further is it going to go? So in and out, like a ninja, I guess. We don't really have a ninja key. That's not a bad idea there, Rob. If we can get something like for a ninja sneaking around there, Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, maybe we can get that one in there, because these breakdown and breakout trades are a staple on days like this to limit your risk and catch some of these gains.
Yeah, I mean, I've been making a lot of my money not even on breakouts, guys, just like trying to buy some of these bottoms and some of these names. Just like we did here, we just absolutely destroyed. NEO's like my #1 stock today by far, and it's just been so good for me, as you guys can see. And then check out Afria, man. This is $2 in the money. So yeah, we're here. We're not going anywhere. And we just took this one to the high side there. You know, some of these cuts, like just little paper cuts here, man. Little paper cut, like long 26.10 out. Well, that was a good one. That was actually a big one, 75 cents a hit. But now, when we're $2.50 or so in the money, our hits don't look so bad anymore, right? So good little cut there for us. Back to the high side. We're making it all back now on everything. So great little look here for me. And then NEO, what else can we say? We picked that level. I gave you that 61.20 level, and we bought the bottoms there at 60.87. So a beautiful little look for us. And let's just keep on running the stocks to the high side right now. We are huge again, man. You know, it doesn't matter my daily goals, but it's well over 5 times. We won't keep talking about it because we get talked about that all the time. And that's why we don't show our P&Ls, guys. It's not about how much money you're making. It's about learning how to make that money so that you can make even more tomorrow. I think both Neil and I obviously agree with that. So that's what it's all about. It's not how much money you make today. It's what you can do tomorrow, because today's over with. Not over with, but 11 o'clock, and we're huge already, guys. Yeah,
and let's watch out for a couple of names here, just because I talked about holding on to PTH when the market goes down. It bounces back through VWAP. We're going to get flat on the last third of that trade. Now it's retesting the last bounce off VWAP and halt price was this 19 even, and that is the top. If it breaks 19, this is going to look like a bit of a breakout long for me here. And again, it's just pure momentum side. It was a stock that looked pretty strong. It has room if it fails to get down to like a 14, but on a pure momentum play, I'm going to like this 19 break as it rejects once. If this bounces off VWAP, I'm going to maintain that buy order through 19 even. If it does not hold, it breaks down. I'll throw that one out the window, guys. But back to Brendan, I think.
Another one making a nice bottom, it looks like. Anyways, GM, guys, CEO just saying that there's more to come, were his words, not mine, when it comes to battery production from GM. So they've already announced a whole bunch of initiatives that they're going to be working on. But he's saying now more to come on the battery front from GM.
Yeah, hopefully there is more to come on that one, because I'm a holder of GM, and I like the stock, but just not participating great. NEO, let's go for that one. I'm going to find another thing to hit here. Let's just go hot dogs, because it's hot dogs for everybody. It's not the cannon. It's a hot dog winner there, because look what we have on board here, guys. And it is what it is. But 27 cents, sorry, not 27 cents, $1.27 win on NEO. High side, bang, bang. Gave you that 61.20 like gift wrapped. I mean, we used to have a gift wrapped one, but whatever. We'll go bang on that one as we hit that one hard to the high side there. My #1 stock today, we've just been destroying NEO, and then we make everything back and more here on Afria. Oh yeah, by the way, we're long Afria right here. $23.77, guys. It's at $26 right now. So a $3 winner on Afria, $1.50 here on NEO, and we hold on to our sundial. But I haven't added back to this. This is just a ho-hum trade, just using it as a proxy to watch some of these weed names.
Yeah, and speaking of those weed names and sundial, I see it break back above 220. I'm trying to get some. I just tried to get 221s to the top there and try to get 220 even. As I saw, shy of VWAP is Tilray at 54, and then right back up to VWAP is sundial. So I'll actually take 19s. And again, this went to 227 last time before we were too concerned about it. I think if it holds like a 225, there's a decent shot at a rollover, especially if Tilray, as I see here, is still below that 54 mark. If it can't break that, I find it hard to believe that we'll be above the 225 mark on sundial. So we'll reload on that position there. Still looking at that BPTH through 19. It's back down to 18 even. Not going to touch it inside of VWAP 17. And 19, no trades inside of the range, only looking for it to break out of that range, guys. Not going to get whipped around in a stock that volatile when it looks like it's going to be calm. That is a bit of a trap.
Yeah, and like, are you guys not entertained here? I mean, this has been such a fantastic day for us. I'm negative on one name, Palantir today, and GM. You know, we're just watching this Neo go to the high side right now, 62.21. Wow. Let's just watch and see what happens. But we continue to making moves here on some of these names. SNDL, that's about all that we're looking at. Good news there on GM, I guess. Maybe it just made a bottom. We could definitely check out that one and see what's going on there on GM. Beautiful little bottoms there, 52.58. Again, we were looking at, let's check back on Twitter, like how high is that up right now? Oh, down, okay. So we pick up a good spot there and get out. Twitter just continues to go down. I was not expecting that. But look at the futures and look at Twitter. They basically look identical there on those moves. That's 10:47, that's 10:40, it says 9:47, that's Chicago time. Twitter would have been a nice pickup down there. Didn't even notice that. But everything else making moves to the high side right now, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of, just testing 225, almost to the dime is going to be Sundial. I mean, essentially I have 21s here. I've been reluctant to add too heavily. Let's show you that's level 2. There you go. There it is. Yeah, there's that level 2. It's not even a monster size, and I thought maybe there'd be more than like 500,000 shares at 225, so that's why I'm going to be glued to it. I almost don't want this to break. 27 was the top before. You're seeing it churn through volume. It'll be hard for you guys to see, but trust me when I tell you, it's about to crack 1 billion shares on the day.
What is?
Sundial. And it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I'm 99% sure that's a faster rate than yesterday, which I didn't think was going to be true, but here we are. And like I said, that 1 billion shares, it looks like it just held. I did try to get some there at 23s and 24s. If it holds this 25 to 27 range, this could be good for a bit of reversal. But watch out, Tilray is back at that 54 mark, which is a key price, and the market back to 3,900 on the ES and looking to go back to positive on the S&P 500 in just a little bit.
You know, look, you're not wrong, man. I mean, some of these names just going absolutely crazy. Sundial, I think, was it 2 billion? What was that? Or was it just 1 billion last week? Like, it might be doing more. I thought we might have cracked over maybe 1.25 billion, but either way, we're going to be watching that name for the rest of the day. Talk about lunch money, man. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do about lunch money today. There's so many opportunities to give you guys some wins. $2 still in the money on Afria. I'm using 50 as my out. It just bounced off of it, so let's watch out for that one. Nice little move back for Afria, guys. What's up, Bren? Valeria. Brendan, Valeria.
Guys, European shares lost their early gains and mostly in a negative territory right now. Italy is down 0.59%, Britain is down 0.66%, and Germany is down 1.11%. Delivery here trading in Germany is down 2.78%, despite reporting a 95% surge in annual revenue. Back to the traders.
Thank you very much. And look,
Ms. V.
Thank you for Ms. V, of course, doing an awesome job. We absolutely love her to death, and cannot wait to have you back next week. And I know we're supposed to have said this. Yeah, Monday's a holiday, believe it or not, guys. So, boo, 4-day trading week. And the way it's been this market, it'll suck, but it'll be good to have you back, Ms. V. Cassava Sciences is back after a big-time flush. Of all the names that moved to the downside, this also had a bit of an offering. 50 was a key level, and I looked for, on the move back to the upside, so we talked about dips, dip buy opportunities on the way down. On the way up, I picked up some Sundial in front of VWAP, which I'm going to start taking some profit out as it's back below 220, but also looking to fade some other moves. And Sava was holding really nicely all pre-market long in terms of that offering, but when it broke 50, I'm going to look for that level. If it holds below VWAP, this could be the retracement play, down 15%. Of course, it did have the share offering, which makes a lot of sense when you go 125 from a $5 stock and down to $50. Maybe you should issue some shares and take advantage of it. They did, but if it cannot break 50, that looks like it could be a short opportunity in the afternoon. Yay, 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 Sundial. Thank you very much. So we get back in at VWAP. Now I'm going to be aggressive again, but believe it or not, I actually still have half my position here, despite taking a bunch out from 220 to 215. This time, I'm at least wanting to hold down to like a 210 or maybe even a 205. I don't know that we retest a 2 even. That would seem a little bit crazy. But it's been a crazy day.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and this is, we've talked about, So we did a video on YOLO trades, and one of the things that we mentioned was sometimes there are opportunities where it is worth it to expand your horizons or maybe take a little bit more risk or give it a little bit more room. And these are the types of days, if you have the good trades, to maybe go ahead and do that. And these are the types of days that if you don't enjoy the action that you're seeing on the show, I don't know what to tell you, Ms. V. I don't know where we're at in the legs, but I promise you it is not even close to enough given the action that we've seen. Great bottom pick, and I didn't even look at Neo, Sean. I mean, it's just... as much as it was going on, it's easy to miss out on things. So give us an update. And I'm already likely to be disappointed, but I'm really hoping you guys take a couple of seconds to hit that like button.
Well, Neil, 10,000 of viewers and just 2,500 of likes. Dear traders, we're one big family and we're here for you every day. So please show your support back. Just hit thumbs up so we know you enjoy what we do and will motivate us even more. Take it away, Neil.
My daughter does this pout face. That's, I mean, 250. I mean, I don't know. I guess you're in the major leagues that you can have a job if you bat 250. I suppose. I'm a baseball fan, but that's not going to get you to the Hall of Fame. You got to hit 400, which means we want to get to that 4,000 mark. We have 30 minutes to do so. It'll make us all happy. And I want to remind everybody, because Arun mentioned this, please send in suggestions for shirts to wear. I mean, Arun's the most serious guy I know, and if he's going to say he's going to wear a shirt that you guys are going to suggest or send in, please allow us to take advantage of that and send something really, really funny and, you know, appropriate as well, because certain things he obviously can't wear online. Now watching out, here comes Sundial back to 225, and that's not even much of a level. 500,000 shares, come and go. I don't like it too much. If it's going to break this, I'm just going to get out and rehunt for a new trade there, guys. So that's me, part of that liquidity getting out. I don't know where the top of this move is going to be, but if it breaks 227, maybe I'm looking at that 235 to 240. I am not going to throw away losses chasing the short too far there. We were able to make some money on it, but the reload not working on Sundial. So let's live to fight another trade, as they say.
Yeah, let's find another trade. Why not? So we did get out of our AFRIA. You want to talk about some marijuana stocks there? It does drop below that 25.50 level. So we got out there right away, and a big win, guys. 23.50 long, out 25.50 there. So that's a $2 win on the last piece. And we're dumping off our NEO right now, even though we were long at 60.84. This is a $1.80 win, and then again at 61.21, which we gave you. I gave you that break there, so that was a good call as well. Missed the bottom pick on Twitter. I mean, obviously that should have been had down here, but we may get another opportunity. Still up that 8% there. So let's continue to watch it. Thank you so much for that super chat. I think we're the best live trading show on the web, as a lot of people will sit here and say, oh, you know, to the moon, let's take this, let's take that. You're actually seeing Neil and I trade, guys. So HK, thank you so much there, Tom. I think that was Tom. Where was it? Yeah, Tom Toe there. They are two. Thank you so much for that. And then a new member alert, Adam Ward. Either way, guys, big super chat there. Thank you so much for helping us out on that case. And yeah, it's just been a big day, guys. NEO is coming back down, though. Watch out for these markets. So a break back down below 61.65. We're going to get out. We are out, though. I have 5% left. So a big move up there for NEO. Let's make sure we capture some profits on the last 5%.
And I'll say, I'm going to say this because someone said in the chat there, I think it was Brent, GameStop missing an opportunity for them, and I have them up here on a bit of a breakthrough 51 here. Missed an opportunity to issue shares. I feel like the optics would have been really, I've heard this said many times, the optics probably would be pretty bad, and it's not, you can't just issue shares whenever you want. I mean, there's certainly, there's diligence, everything happens so quickly, there's so much volatility. That's probably a different story than maybe Cassava Sciences, which legitimately actually had some news to bring it to the upside there, and might have been a different story, at least a little bit. But either way, GameStop had briefly gone through VWAP, that's what I was pointing out at 51. Look at this range that it put in. So I'm going to call it like 48, and this was while the market was crashing. This 48, then breaking VWAP at 51, not really getting very far, so still showing some signs of weakness. If it holds the afternoon below, that's going to give you a couple of awesome opportunities here. One of those is a potential break through 48 to the downside. Problem is you got that low of the day at 46.50, but to the upside, if you could take that 52 after holding 48, probably more room if it makes another squeeze type move to the upside. I'll be watching GameStop to see if it hangs in this range. I almost hope that it does and gives me that shot, guys.
Yep, and again, you know, range-bound trading, nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, you got to pick the right ranges first, and then if you do that, then you obviously will be rewarded. So good call on that one. We'll just see where we can go with it from here. So that's GameStop, and I was looking at AMC, but that's been busted a little bit now. You can see the AMC trade here. Okay, so NEO's still going. I thought maybe we would dump out there, but we didn't. We absorbed that hit, so or that move down in the futures there. So good on that one. AMC, that's what I want to talk about. I was waiting for that 6 1/4 to come. And yeah, I mean, talk about a stock that's held up well. Neil just talked about GameStop there. Why not? I mean, AMC's held up pretty good too. You know, in this market drop, I mean, it's not really, I mean, it's still up 5%. I just thought with this kind of puke action there that people would just be, whatever AMC they held, they may have dumped it. So I'm pretty bullish now on AMC. Watch out for a 6 break. We may adjust our stops a little bit more than that. This could be possibly a nice little lunch money trade. Here we go. AMC to the high side. I don't know, starting to get going here. Let's check back on Afria. 25.23. Okay, so that was a good dump there. I'm going to wait for it to get a little more spicy to the downside to see if that does break. But right now, a good trade. You could still take Afria through 26. I mean, remember, guys, at open, this thing was in the 30s, 29.30. So there still is room to go back up. And boom! Valeria's not in the building, but it doesn't mean Superman's not. There it is, Valeria. Yeah, we hit this on NEO today. My #1 stock on the board. Just a big one today for us. And yeah. I just think this one keeps on ripping, 62.63. Let's see if it breaks this view up. It could be another long rate here too, guys.
And while it was happening, the BPTH breaks the 19. It's essentially it goes a buck, quickly get in and out because that was a hard reversal. It lost a lot of momentum, slammed back down. It bounced off 18. I just said, you know what? That's not the kind of it's not the kind of move that I was looking for. I thought we'd be going parabolic into it after that break and maybe approaching another halt. That's the reason I thought it could squeeze. It doesn't. I'll just get out flat the second half and then look for the next trade. Which, incidentally, if it pushes to the high of the day without halting, I would look for maybe a short off that high of the day. But I would not touch that in the event of a halt. That's just a little too crazy. If it's halting into 24, no moss. Let's go to Brendan. He's got something for us.
A little Chinese name, BIMI. We've mentioned this one many times before, up 21% today. Yeah, didn't really care about that market sell-off. You can see it came down 10 cents. Straight back to day highs here, 22%. They closed the acquisition of a company that's going to open up further markets in China for them. They're a drug distributor in the pharmaceutical space. Guys.
Okay, yeah, we have talked about that stock. And look, Chinese names basically going nuts. Today, or not today. I mean, one that's not going nuts is Alibaba. We've been waiting for this to go ham, and it just hasn't gone. It's not like a Pinduoduo. It's not like a Baidu or anything like that. It's just been really slow and sleepy, but that was a good pickup at 264. I mean, everything was just such a great bounce today. I hope you're able to catch some of those winners with us on some of those bounce plays. So Alibaba, a Chinese name that we always look at here on the show as well, but yeah, not much today on this. I'd honestly rather just go back to something like Twitter. And I mean, Twitter's trying to make this bounce again. Could take that same high again if we wanted it to. 65.50, I think, is a good little trade there for Twitter, especially if it holds these bottoms of 64.50. Yeah, so some bottom pick opportunities here on Twitter. If you do like it, up 8%. Stick with the names that are strong, in my opinion, especially when people are questioning what's happening in the market. Although this move is over with now, man. I mean, that wasn't even a big move. It just seemed dramatic because it was like bang, 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 bang. It just kept going down. So we've seen a lot bigger than that, but nice that the market stopped and bounced a little bit. Would be good to take some keys from Arun there if there was any bottoms that he liked. But we'll listen tomorrow and ask him that question, how he played that market drop.
Yeah, and I got shook. You saw it live here. I just talked about that VPTH. Took the break, got out when it looked relatively weak, and here comes the march to the upside. So I am looking to see if I can catch a little something. If it does try to roll over. Now, again, it's not a guarantee that this is going to happen at 24 even, but that's what I'm looking for. A no halt, stall, and turn shy of that level. Now, this is a lower high at 22.30, so that's not crazy as well, but I really like it a lot better at 23. If it has to be here, I guess it has to be here. 21.30 was a bit of a level. It's turning at 21. Yep, let's go. Whatever. I mean, I'll take a first shot here at that 21.30 price just because, I mean, it's a lower high. It's a setup I usually like. I had turned a little bit bearish on it earlier in the session. If it does break through this, it is a relatively tight stop. I just got 99s and really risking 30 cents on that's crazy. Like I'm in and out in a couple of seconds. So it's a little paper cut. but I will like it much better, like I said, at 24 even. But you saw real time there. I just want to take a quick shot. And if it's not the perfect price, tighter stop or less shares, the time of the day becomes a factor as well. So you can do one of those, you can do both of those, whichever one you like. And then if it turns out that it comes back into VWAP and I threw away a $3 winner, I don't really mind, because that wasn't the perfect short that I was looking for. Like the real one is going to be if it either halts and then reopen that's lower, or if it goes to that 24 and then rejects off the actual high a day. Much, much stronger move if that were the case.
I really like that talk. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here. Watching out for key levels, watching high a day, and then talking about paper cuts. And what we mean by paper cuts is not really what's all over my hands. I'm just joking, I don't have any paper cuts. Is the fact that you take smaller hits, right? And I think a good example of that, I know Neil just reviewed it as well, but both of us, again, 19 years and I think 48 years trading for Neil. But you guys can see here, like some of these hits on Afria today are small. These wins are okay. But then, just little small hits there. And then you wait for that big move to get going. And then sometimes you can make that money back. But Neil, there is something about greed too, right? And you can't get too greedy, because sometimes, you hold on to something for a little too long and you're thinking that it's going to moon and it doesn't. And then that's a problem. But one thing that is mooning right now is NIO, guys. Like, look at Neil. This is a $2 win for us. I mean, realistically, it's even more than that, because we did have that 60.88 bottom. So a big time mover here. Neil, I think the number, when we don't talk about nets for ourselves individually, but I can tell you that the largest stock by net today for Neil, either Neil or myself, is NIO, man. And it just keeps on going to the high side there. And I'm happy to have this. We probably get some out now. Let's use VWAP as our next spot out, guys. If we can get that, we'll be pretty happy.
NASDAQ, ES green in like a couple of ticks here. So
wow.
Remember when we were saying, let's slow down for a second, because we're only down 1%. And I mean, Tesla's still down 3.6. That's what I'm watching now, just because it's consolidating around this 820 mark. So we're having a quick look at this. If the market rolls over and doesn't hold positive, you're probably looking at like an 813 break down on Tesla, so long as it's held 820. And by held, I mean the short is held, which I'm not in, by the way. The first place I'm going to go to, however, is back to sundown, because guess where we're going to? We're up at 230 again. The last short we got out at 225 to take, again, like we said, paper cuts. I don't think it gets to 250 another time, the way I saw that order, the way I saw that level traded around. So I'm looking at probably that it was 240 and 245 that had big levels as well. I'll probably look to one of those to see if there's a couple million shares on the offer, and then try to put a similar trade on. We're starting to slow down this momentum back to the upside, so we're starting to think about, okay, well, market trying to get positive right about there. If it rolls over again, there's still some people that would have been long, sundial, either holding overnight, long in the pre-market breaks at 2 even, that are thinking to themselves, should I not be taking profit above 250? And whatever. Literally, as soon as I say it, like it turns around at 230, and I was looking for a 240 move. But either way, I'm going to be patient with sundial here. There's no need to rush the trade and start chasing things that are going to the moon, seemingly, but really, this little move to the downside was like 3 or 4 cents. It's not a heck of a lot. It just seems big. So I'm going to wait patiently. I like the level more at 240. Let's wait for 240 to come on sundial, as I note that Tilray still climbing and still trying to get, it's at 54, 55 right now, trying to get back to, I think a key pullback was about 56 even. So if it gets to 56, and I like what I see on sundial and it turns there, I might get early on sundial, but only if Tilray's gone up another $1 or so.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense there. Look at Twitter, too, breaking out right now. One of our favorite segments, and we've done pretty good on it so far. Let's see if we can't pay for our lunch, Brendo. What's up?
It is that time, guys. Yeah, about 11:15. Every day we come up with 3 last-minute or end-of-show kind of ideas that we can look at to maybe pay for our lunch today. We had, as Sean was saying, pretty good success with this over the past couple of days. Hey, Valeria, I just saw you down there in the corner. Yeah, we are talking lunch money, guys. Who wants to kick things off today?
I always go first.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll go first. No problem. I think I would. Yeah, it doesn't matter who goes first anyways. I like Twitter. Let's take it right now. A breakthrough 65.35 here on Twitter. So that's going to be my trade right now. Let's go long Twitter right now.
Oh, Twitter. That's actually a nice little break. Look, I'm going to come back, and I was just talking about it. So, I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard for me not to take that sundial. As Sean is getting into trade, I'm going to go back to this. and it's going to be hard to see, but look, you look at these wicks up, you see that 240. I can tell you on the way down, the reason you see a bunch of grouped orders down here on my short at 250, and then I start getting out when 240 broke, is because that was on the way up and on the way down a big level. So if it gets to this price, I want to short off of a 240, looking at like 36, 37, maybe 38, get a little bit more aggressive, and then pull back into VWAP. So, I mean, the idea here is that every single time we've done this segment, it's only been a couple of times. It's been a trade that's like a right-away type of thing, usually getting in or already in position. This one, I need to see it come to that price, and I'm playing off that 240 level. So it's entirely possible I don't get into this trade, but this is the one that I like at this lunchtime trade, and I think it can give you a scalp into VWAP, 5 to 10 pennies, with only risking like 3 or 4 cents worth of risk, which is something that I definitely like around this time of day.
Okay, so we just took out half of ours there, our lunch money. So we put $10 in our pocket. Let's see if we get a little bit more now to the upside. We're long 65.30. What was it here? 65.38, and it's already at 52, Brendan. So how much do you need for lunch? Because you have your 100 shares there. There was $20. Give us yours, Brendo.
All right, let's talk about CGIX. I, unfortunately, was not able to get shares to short on this, but if you do have them available, wow, this is breaking down right now. You can take this literally right now versus 12. So you got to get out if it's back above 12. Downside for CGIX, guys, give it to 12. Looking for a test of the lows, really. I mean, 11 at least for CGIX, guys.
All right.
Never take trades just because I actually have shares shortable on CGIX because I was shorting it at like 7 o'clock this morning, and I stopped doing it right here. And yeah, that's not a bad look, Brendan. I mean, I'll actually... well, I guess we can't really double down on these. We'll stick with Sundial. But if this were to come back and if it breaks that 12 even and then cannot get through 1350, I would say I'd even short that move if it holds below VWAP. And the reason we go to these clusters, look at 1350 to 14 even. It was 1415 actually where I ended up getting out in the pre-market. I was short on that move to 15. You look at that consolidation, the breakout that occurred exactly when I got out. So that was a good out, I think. But when it broke below that price, floodgates opened up, and now it's holding. So I almost like that a little bit better, like if it broke 12 and gave you a shot in front of that 14 price to the short side. So I'll file that one away as well in CGIX. I think both ways are pretty solid. I believe I paid 11 cents a share to get this one, so thank you, Day Trade the World, for the privilege. Always check as early as possible with your broker for those locates, because you never know when they're going to come in handy, and I feel like CGIX, they are going to come in handy this afternoon.
Okay, guys. Yeah, so look, in my opinion, like strange move of the day there. I was not expecting AMC to actually get to this 20, but I kept my order in there. I wish I didn't. I mean, it's fine. Obviously, I wish I didn't. It's at 610 right now. But we did, once I saw it, I got in and out there a little bit at 624, 25 because we got long at 21. So that was a good trade for us. But honestly, was not expecting that. We talked about it was ramping up there. Should have gone long through this VWAP. So we'll learn that lesson from next time. Trade VWAP instead of waiting for these breakouts. I'm going to average in. I'm going to give it to this 590 level here. So maybe there's something on AMC. Let's see if that goes. NEO, we just dumped it through that level there. I thought I was using VWAP, but I guess I was not. We are out there for a nice little $2 winner or so on VWAP. So let's hold that one, and then let's just see what AMC wants to do. We'll see if we get some longer down here at the 6 level. But if we take out 625, man, maybe there's something about this. Let's see what happens with AMC today. I'm willing to hold this.
And look, if you're going to talk about AMC breaking that 620, I was a little surprised because I looked over and I'm like, but I'm watching GameStop. And look, and I forgot. We said this morning was the trade unwinds, or at least recently has unwound in the meme names, that whole correlation, one moves, the other moves, was kind of gone. So I shouldn't have been surprised to see that GameStop was already turning off well shy of the high. It's back towards its VWAP. Now, I talked about it. This was going to hold below 51 in the afternoon. There'd be an actionable trade. That didn't happen, so maybe throw that idea out the window. Even though it was a long break, look, the idea was a long break at 51, and yes, if you took it, that worked a couple of times here, but that wasn't the way that I wanted it. I wanted it consolidating lower, holding 48, and then breaking out in the aftermarket or in the afternoon into power hour kind of thing. So yes, technically speaking, 51 broken, it was a win, but not the way that I would have had it. That's why I don't have the trade on in GameStop. Going to be watching this 54 area in the afternoon, because that could be a key one as well. And yeah, every now and then, out of the corner of my eye, I can see what's coming up next. So we're not going to go to earnings just yet, but I guess there's a few in the as well. And today's Wednesday, right? Which does mean We get the Bumble IPO tomorrow, so interesting IPO coming on tomorrow's action. We'll see what happens, but there is some hype going into that one. So it's if this market isn't exciting enough, the show isn't good enough, maybe we get to trade an IPO tomorrow, which has a lot of action behind it.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely look at that. Some IPOs, though, recently, normally we go long, and you can check out our Market Wisdom page for some of those IPOs. I mean, I won't go short it. I just don't. Tomorrow, there's a lot of hype about this, and some IPOs have fallen a little bit flat lately. So I'm not 100% sure on the risk for that, but join us tomorrow. Hopefully that can happen through the show. So sometimes IPOs don't, but I'm hoping it does. Oh man, like weed bat, I don't have anything here. Maybe hide your kids, hide your wife if you're a weed trader today, because you could be up either a lot of money or down a lot of money depending on which way you took this swing, because even a stock like Afria, we can go back and we'll look at Tilray in a minute as well. But look at this move, guys. Like we picked that bottom, and you know, like that bottom is 23.73. It's now like $2.50, $3 in the money right now for that trade. So unfortunately, we only took out $2. It dropped there. We could have held on for another $1. That would have been gorgeous to be able to do that. But look, we're still not happy. Like 3.6K, we need to get to 5. So let's see if we can't ramp that up. Ms. V, I see you there in the corner. Look, 4,000 likes is something that we should be able to get. We still have 9,300 people watching. Neil and I have been talking our brains off here for the last 3 hours. So hopefully that can come through and we'll be able to get a little more likes on that side of things. And you know what? It's been a big show. So I think, like Neil's mentioned there a couple of times, I think we deserve it today on that like front. So let's just keep on going. Lots of big winners depending on what you're trading. And for us today, we've had them on board. So hopefully it's been a good show for you. We're getting ready to wrap up, man. We're back tomorrow. There's no stopping. And remember, Monday is a holiday for all of our, I don't think it's a holiday in Europe, but for you US people, you know it's a holiday. Same thing in Canada as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys south of the border, you get like President's Day, I believe it is. And then here we have Family Day. So, I mean, all we can do is spend time with our families because of the lockdown, but it certainly will be good to do that. And that's the only thing that keeps us away from these markets, of course, is those holidays. Look, it's going to happen here, that sundial. I don't really have it going any further than like the low 30s. So I got to stick to what the plan was here. And I could cheat and say, yeah, short off 40, but start the position at 32 and 33, and you're already getting that scalp win. No, you know, the idea is that I'm waiting for that 240 level to make a bit of a play here. And it's bouncing off VWAP time and time again. So there is a scalp that would have already made you some coin, but that's not the call that we made here on Sundial. I do want to come back to Cassava Sciences. I know we only have a few minutes left, and it's still looking pretty solid for what I think could be another leg to the downside. I mean, I talked about if it holds that 50 level, this could be one. And of course, it's down 15% today in SSR, in part because they had the share offering, which at first was well received. But when the market came down, this crashed with it. If it cannot hold up at like 49, which is forming a bit of a level here, and it hasn't broken 50 even, this one could be one of those afternoon short type of plays. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I'm going to be watching Cassava Sciences as well. I mentioned it once. I just wanted to make sure I could double down so you guys didn't ignore this stock, which I haven't traded today, which, I mean, as much as it moves, it's been a great day trading stock. So Cassava Sciences is on the radar for the afternoon. But we're going to Brendan, I think, for earnings.
Yeah, a couple more minutes to go here, guys. We have to get to earnings, and man, we are in probably the busiest week. I'd go ahead and say, yeah, busiest week as far as earnings are concerned. If you haven't done so, guys, we're still at, what are we at? 3.9. Get us to 4,000 likes if you would be so kind. We would very much appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the like button. Let's go. Wow, yeah, saw somebody was talking about BT. What? Top left corner there. Bloom Energy, guys. Saw it in the chat.
Bloom. My house is on fire. No, whatever. That's.
Yeah, no, AstraZeneca in the middle there. Obviously some news, but I mean, that news is already out. We know all about the virus and their vaccine. That's what it's called. Callaway could be interesting. We'll look at that. Again, I don't know what those numbers are like. I don't know how many people are out golfing right now. Zynga's been a hot spot. We saw what happened with glue.
How are we not? Oh my God, Zynga was such an obvious
today. PepsiCo. I don't know, MGM. I mean, there's a lot on there. Sonos. You know what? Take your pick, guys. There's so much on there.
Oh, so I'm only kicking myself because we talked about that with Playtika, and maybe Zynga was the same play with glue, as Sean just mentioned, that buyout. But it's a bit overwhelming. Let's be real for a quick second here. If we're not looking at the cannabis space tomorrow, then we're probably doing something wrong. We were looking at Uber again today. I think that's going to be a good one. And I can't believe I'm the one that noticed that Callaway was on there. I'm the only one that doesn't golf, but I'll shout it out for you guys.
No, I said Callaway.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
I said I wasn't sure how many people are golfing right now, but that should be an interesting one. Yeah, we like Callaway. And you know what? Callaway's been good. I just want to talk about one more trade here. Palantir, someone's saying Palantir to the moon. I think there's a possibility. VWAP is right at this breaking point right now. So Palantir does have a shot to go now through 36.75. So let's wait to see if that can get going now. Palantir through the high side of 36.75, that's probably going to be a good trade to go. But watch out for these futures, man. Palantir could still test 35.
And one more that's on that list that I want to throw out there before we get to what we have to is I saw restaurant brands on there. And of course, if you start thinking about the sort of reopening plays and we're getting along those lines, and we got to go to restaurant brands and have an eye on that as well. So I'll put that on my list to watch. It's always on everybody's list if you're watching the show. To stay till the end to see what delicious National Day it might be. I'm going to throw to Valeria, and let's find out.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining us and for all the support, for getting us 4,000 off likes. We know you're busy trading out there and sometimes simply forget to like, but here I am to kindly remind you to hit your thumbs up and support your favorite community. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Cream Cheese Brownie Cake Day.
Cream cheese brownie cake. Okay, I like brownies. I like cream cheese. I don't know if I've actually had that. It looks like I'm almost a marble cake to me there. But yeah, good look. And shout out to cream cheese and bagels as well.
At the risk of sounding incredibly unpopular, I'm not a big cream cheese guy. So I love brownies, but I gotta frown on the cream cheese brownie there. So it's not usually that I'll say something negative about our National Day when it's going to be food-wise, but I don't know. It's just not for me. Brendan, what are your thoughts? So can you break the tie here?
I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm going to go thumbs down on cream cheese brownie. Not a fan.
What?
There it is.
What are you doing, Valeria? Thumbs up or thumbs down on that?
No thumbs down for nothing.
Oh, okay. So Valeria, sweet tooth there. Thank you, Valeria.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Valeria's just like, who cares about sweet tooth or not? We love food. So good call on that one, Valeria. Yeah, Palantir still is going to be the trade in the afternoon, I think. Watch it. Watch the market, guys. We've seen the slippery slope that it can be.
Yeah, and with just under a minute to go, I do want to reiterate, we talked about all of our lunchtime plays here. So I want to go back and just remember that as much as it was a short call on Sundial, I will not take credit for the fact that it has come down. I wanted to get in closer to 240. That was the condition of my trade. So I still think it's going to be interesting. This 225 has been such a great little pivot point around VWAP. There's been shorts off it that have worked. And it does feel like if it holds even a long into like a 240, as long as, Tilray's back below 55, if we can hold that, I think it would be good. But that's just a Sundial. It's done 1.1 billion shares. So if you're an active trader and you're not looking at it today, certainly, even if you've never traded something like it, just learning from the experience of seeing a stock do what it's doing in terms of crazy volume, in terms of a crazy level 2 and all the liquidity that you are seeing. It's a great learning experience if you have these tools. And if you don't, well, then you can always just watch us and we'll always show you what the big size that we see. Yep. We're going to flip to the imbalance locator when it matters, whether it's an IPO, whether it's at the open, guys. That's what we're about. It's about learning, it's about having fun, and we're having a ton of it today. And for the entire team, because we got to do it, unfortunately. Ms. V, can't wait to have you back next week. My man Sean Katina, for Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
See ya.